contenders appear on the horizon. They are ready to challenge the world order. They will try to lay claim to the title of world's best. Europe and North America will host the best players Arena of Valor has to offer. They will compete for a share of $50,000 and a chance to represent their region at the World Cup. Everyone is out for their shot at immortality. So find your hero, assemble your team. This is the Valor Series.
The clouds have dispersed, the sun shines down among the Antares battlefield, and week number 5 continues. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Intel Esports Arena for the Valor Series presented by AT&T. My name is Bill Jump Carter. Joined with me, I've got Mr. Jeff Suijay Chow. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Excited for week 5. A lot on the line for these NA teams. As you know, they're all competing for that top 4 spot. And it looks like 2, 3, and 4 are going to be the most hotly contested seedings.
Well, he's got a little bit of a tongue twister.
I do.
Despite the fact that it is week number 5 and only 1 week of qualifying remains, let's take a deeper look at the tournament format for the Valor Series.
Welcome to the Valor Series for Europe and North America. Over the next few months, teams will compete against one another to be the first ever Valor Series champions. Let's take a look at what it takes. The Valor Series features 6 weeks of competition with open qualifiers. Each week, teams will enter the qualifiers to earn a spot in the top 8. Points will be awarded to the top 8 based on bracket results. Only the top 6 will secure their spot. The last 2 teams enter relegation and must compete in the open qualifiers the following week to retain their spot. Only the 2 winners of the qualifiers will claim the remaining spots in the top 8 each week. After 6 weeks, the top 4 teams with the most points will compete in the finals in Los Angeles, California. Each team will compete for their share of $50,000, the Valor Series Championship, and a ticket to the World Cup. 6 weeks of the best Arena of Valor teams Europe and North America have to offer. This is the Valor Series.
With only 1 week remaining, you have an opportunity to sign up, go through the gauntlet of the open qualifiers, and have an opportunity to win yourself some money. $550,000 are on the line, Suijay, and only the best will make it to the top.
Yeah, definitely. In the Valor Series, $50,000 is on the line. The top 8 teams win a piece of the prize pool. And we have some new teams showing up like 09 who want to make it in the top 8 and at least win some prize money. But who doesn't? Because Trump, who doesn't like money?
Hey, who doesn't? Who does? Make sure you head on over to esl.gg/Valor Series NA to sign up, grab you a squad, and potentially land yourself in the Valor Series. But maybe you don't have the skills quite yet to join the Valor Series, but you still want to improve your gameplay. Well, courtesy of our friends over at Razer, each and every week, we've got ourselves the Razer phone giveaway. We've already got ourselves some winner. Rodrigo, Rebecca, and Mary Rose have got themselves a Razer phone, and you could too. And I know that we both have an opportunity to play it, and the refresh rate as well as the audio on this phone is unparalleled.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that a 1440p high-resolution screen along with 120 Hz, great speakers, amazing battery life is all in the touch of your hand. It's like a supercomputer in your hand, and you can enjoy some awesome games and play them at all the high settings like Arena of Valor.
Well, make sure if you want to get involved, you head on over to esl.gg/Valor Series giveaway so you can have an opportunity to win yourself a Razer phone. But now, everything aside, let's get right into what I know everyone's excited for. Week number 5 for the Valor Series North America. We're going to take a look at the top 8 standings. Allegiance is sitting healthy at 550 points, but 2 through 4, as you mentioned, are up for grabs.
Yeah, definitely. And Morris has shown some weakness from last week, placing actually in the semifinals, not making it to the grand finals. And we have the most important spots is 3 and 4th is in heavy contention with Dino Riders, Uppsala, One Trick, all vying, and Dark Power all vying for that 3rd and 4th seed so they can make it to the live playoffs in June.
Not only do we have the top standings, but we've also got ourselves the bracket for today. It is a lot of spicy matches. We've got Team Allegiance coming up first, taking on 09. Followed by that, it's Dark Power versus Uppsala. Dino Riders versus One Trick, and then to round out the day, it's going to be Immortals versus Ferris.
Yeah, the matchup I'm most excited about is definitely Dino Riders versus One Trick. Those teams are actually very close in their skill matchup, and that's going to be a very fun best-of-3 series to watch.
Only 20 points separate Dino Rider from Team Upsla.
Yeah.
That third and fourth becoming very close, but we want to get into our first matchup of the day. That's going to be Allegiance, the team that has shown themselves to be the power of North America, are going to be going up against the newcomers in 0-9.
Yeah, 0-9 has a huge task ahead of them to unseat Allegiance, who have not lost a single game since week 1. This is the team to beat in North America. They've been by far the most dominant. So 0-9 has got to pull something crazy out of their cards to be able to upset a team like Allegiance.
If Allegiance secures themselves a Week 5 finals victory, meaning they get number 1 at the end of this week, they will secure themselves the number 1 seed. And so every game continues to matter for the top as well as the bottom. So let's go ahead and break down the ones at the top. Team Allegiance, Sleepy, Rocker, KO, MTS, Rest. These guys have all shared MVPs over the last 4 weeks and all have what it takes to be at the top.
Yeah, I was watching their video introducing the team, and they flew to Texas and spent some time together. It's amazing to see how far this team has come and how much they have come together. I mean, the synergy between all of them, especially in the late game, the best team when it comes to team fighting in the late game. And I'm really looking at Sleepy. Sleepy is one of my favorite mid lane mages that I like to watch, and he does such a good job carrying his team.
The pinpoint precision of Sleepy's presence in every step of the way has been something to revel at, but they're going to be going up against some newcomers. Let's go ahead and take a look at their opponent. It's going to be 0-9. They finished second in the open qualifiers, making them the number 8 seed. You've got Palm, Bing, Eltran, Na, and Lanchi. The newcomers definitely have a big task rather to go up against this Allegiance.
Yeah,
squad.
the images you see up there are their favorite heroes. I would love to see Thane come back into the meta. He is so good at peeling, especially with the ADC meta that we see now. And this is a team that we're excited to see. We haven't seen them compete on this stage at the Valor Series yet, and they're going against the number 1 seed, so they have a lot to prove.
Well, now, Sweet J, you found yourself on the winning side for the first half of today, 4 for 4.
4 for 4.
Now oh wait.
Yeah,
Yes, you
4-0.
Yeah, no, I know. I am just kidding. Yeah, so now thinking over to North America, I know you want to get to that illustrious 90% by the end of week 6. So the question becomes 0-9, or is it going to go right into the hands of Allegiance?
If I want to keep my win percentage high, then I have to definitely bet for Allegiance. Nothing tells me that they have a kink in their armor. So Allegiance has been performing so well, and I think that it's going to be hard for any team to take them out, especially a newcomer onto the entire battlefield like 0-9.
Look at that! You got up to 1%. You're at 89 now. So it's the little things that pop himself up.
Yeah.
So you heard what my lovely analyst has said, but what about you, Twitch chat? What do you guys feel is the victory for success? Let us know in the Twitch chat, Allegiance or 0-9. We'll check in with you guys after the big ban phase. And now, as players are getting themselves into lobby, let's talk about this pick ban phase, because we've seen a little bit of some differences over in Europe, but in North America specifically, because you have members like Zenial, Malik, and Murad that have now had a couple weeks of integration into the North American set list and playlist of these players. Which of these are you seeing to be a rising star coming into today's matches?
Yeah, definitely you mentioned Malik. I think Malik is going to be a key hero that's going to be banned or picked. He was so popular in EU, and I think North America actually follows the trend of EU. EU was ahead on the ADC meta. North America was playing the Assassin meta, and I feel like Omen might be showing up as a ban now, and that's something that we did not see banned very often in North America, but we did see it today banned so often on the side of EU.
So now, looking at the newcomers of 0-9, what are they going to have to do, if there's anything they can do, to potentially create any sort of upset potential for Allegiance?
Yeah, one thing where Allegiance doesn't do well is when you snowball them, when you get a better and stronger early game composition and then you abuse it. You push your advantage in that first 2-minute mark, and then from there, you gotta then shut down Allegiance, starve them. They have to pick an early game composition to be able to beat a team as good as Allegiance here. And then in their late game, they can't make any mistakes. Allegiance is just so good at capitalizing on their opponent's over-aggression or mistakes that one mistake can really cause the fight for Allegiance to win the game or come back if they're ahead.
Now, we must note that while 0-9 has a very minuscule percentage to make it into the top 4, it is very interesting to note that just because you don't make it into top 4 doesn't mean that you don't have something on the line. It's $1,000 for 8th place, bumps that up to $1,500 for 7th, and so getting themselves a victory could even by in and of itself create opportunities for them in that top 8.
Yeah, definitely. And I think here, Liliana needs to be banned here. Wow, look at all the mages being banned. They have to ban Liliana here. Allegiance with this interesting strategy here. There's 4 mages banned. Wonder Woman, Ryoma open, Malik, Zenio, Omen, Max. All of the most powerful side laners are open. This is a draft I haven't seen before. So this is very exciting. Are they going to secure a key mage? Because right now, the other mages, Raz, Jinnar, right, are really good picks. And it's just so interesting that the top 4 mages are their priority bans here coming out, and Thane comes out.
There you go. You
and
got
that's
your
what
wish,
I call
my
it, and that's
friend.
super exciting to see that Wonder Woman and Thane have such great synergy together.
Not only that, but you're going to, as a result, see the rebuttal come for the side of Allegiance. They've got Zenial available, they have Malik available, and both of those are going to get locked out immediately. So taking a look already, the front line of Allegiance is monstrous.
Yeah, one thing though, Thane is actually a super hard counter into Malik, because when Malik channels and tries to use his shock ultimate, he tries to take a flight, Thane can actually charge him and cancel that ultimate. So if Thane can do that in this matchup and make sure Malik doesn't get his ultimate off, that's going to look really good for the side of 0-9. And they're picking some really strong Crush side lane. They're going to go with Crush side lane instead of Ryoma. And Jinnar, it looks like it's going to be picked up by the side of Allegiance, along with a Joker jungle, it looks like, because, you know, who is jungling here? You know, they have to pick a jungler, and it looks like it might be Yorn.
Oh my
and Valheim is
goodness!
picked.
All right, raise your hats, tip them. I'm not even going to try to meme on this. We have a Valheim coming into play now that looks like it's going to be a Valheim coming into... I'm assuming this would be coming into the mid lane. Correct?
Ooh, Wukong. Look at Wukong come out here. That's super, super exciting.
So Wukong being picked up. So the members of 0-9 committing to the dive. Meanwhile, Sleepy locks in the Valheim for Allegiance. Now, Rocker hasn't switched off of that just yet. I don't know, if you want to meme, I guess you could potentially do something like a Valheim jungle. But as we get closer into this, it probably looks like it's going to be the Yorn. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Valheim in the mid. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, Valheim, they're doing a ability Valheim or Mage Valheim. He's really weak early, but late game, he is a pain to deal with. Just intense and tons of poke coming out from him. But Wukong, I definitely want to talk about. Wukong his passive is God of War. He actually does a lot of crit. So you let this guy get to late game, he can literally two-shot your ADCs because they have no armor, usually. And he does so much crit in his kit that he can literally do 3,000 damage per hit, and that's what makes Wukong so awesome.
Something to consider, however, though, is the tanky front line that Allegiance provided. So Wukong's going to have to find ways to be that deceptive Monkey King that he is to get himself to the back line. You can see the picks below. Game 1 is getting loaded onto the battlefield quite quickly, but we want to make sure that we can check in with Twitch chat. What does Twitch chat have to say? Who are they feeling is going to be on top? 75% to Allegiance, 25 to 0-9. But, ladies and gentlemen, North America has started. The Valor Series week number 5 has started now. Team Allegiance taking on 0-9 in our first matchup of the day.
Yeah, this is so exciting. I can't wait to see how Sleepy's going to play this Valheim. That's why they banned all these mages. All 3 mages was banned by the side of Allegiance here. And then they're going to play this AP Valheim. And I can't wait to see the plays. And they have a mid-Zill, actually. A mid-Zill because of all the mages being taken. And Zill is a magic damage hero. That also could work as well. So right now, both teams are playing really passive, just farming their own jungle. However, Zenio does get the Seagull Vision Bird there on top lane, which allows him to get level 2 before Wonder Woman does.
And so now we're going to see one of the more interesting matches here in the Valor Series, but Rest doing what Rest does best, and that's making sure that he is all up inside the enemy jungle. Nice little rotation there by KO, as well as Sleepy, trying to get themselves off a little bit, you know, making sure that their presence is known. Allegiance, remember, if they clinch the finals this week, they clinch the #1 seed in the Valor Series for North America, securing themselves a very comfortable spot in the regional finals.
Yeah, look at Sleepy and Rest. They always do this. They always do some really nice rotations, duel through the river, and putting a lot of pressure to the side laner, and that's what they do almost every game. It's really, really good, the timing and the synergy that they have together, which puts pressure onto the side lane. However, they weren't able to get a gank because 0-9 is actually playing pretty conservative and pretty safe right now. And you can see Wukong there. You know, he's got to farm up. He's got to get to level 4. He's got to get his damage items. And once he starts building crit over time, he's going to be so much work to deal with in the late game.
So now 2 minutes is up, which means Abyssal Dragon is ALGs for the taking. There is no rebuttal coming out of 0-9. They're just simply letting this happen. Now, despite the question marks that Sleepy's Valheim raised to us in the pick ban phase, we have seen no difference, no changes from the strategy of Allegiance immediately securing themselves an early Abyssal Dragon and roaming towards the top side of the map towards the Sentinel to potentially catch off Zika and this Wukong.
Yeah, look at this again, Rest and Sleepy. Look at his rotation. Beautiful Pooty Poot stun onto Zika, and look at that flicker right in there. Valheim Sleepy goes in there and deletes him, and then they have a counter initiate. Thane misses his ability, doesn't slow MTS, and they need to secure this kill to trade evenly here.
MTS is going to do everything he can. You're going to see the ultimate getting popped by Palm. Try to see if they can pick up that kill onto the Malik. He's so tanky at this point in time, but Eltran will still end up picking him up. You've got the cross-map sight coming out of Rocker, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. So, kill goes down in favor of Allegiance. However, 0-9 is able to recover.
Yeah, look at Sleepy there. The stuns. And you guys know Valheim is a very popular early gamer. Every third no more attack actually stuns the opponent. So when he gets to late game, he's going to be a pain to deal with the amount of poke and stun he's going to put off. Look at the Valheim go there. This is going to be such a fun game to watch how Sleepy plays with Valheim.
Sage Golem already being contested. He's going to get stolen away by the Thane, and now it's going to be a little bit of a fight. Rest is going to have to end up using the Pooty Poot to make himself survive. Rest will end up taking you in, which will allow them to back off safely. Sleepy in the meanwhile. Double kill actually coming in for Rest, as KO is going to join the fight. That ultimate from the Zenial providing all the extra MTS being able to pick himself up a kill, and so Sage Golem gets stolen away, but more importantly, 3 kills go into the pocket of Allegiance.
Yeah, what a bait there. Teamy activating its ultimate, being a bro. It revives both Sleepy and himself, and as a result, Zenio then is able to come, and KO is able to then cast Angelic Splendor, come from across the map with that global ultimate, and then secure the fight and win it in their advantage. And as a result, they get a tower. Rocker gets a free tower in bot lane, and now they're at a comfortable almost 4K gold lead against 0-9.
And it's just only 4 minutes into the game as well. MTS is going in the 2v1 on the bottom side of the map, not caring at all. Tries to get himself a little whip, but instead he's going to have to walk away empty-handed as Rocker's able to steal that away. And now you see a 3-man roam on the top side of the map. Zika does have a little deceptive maneuvering, but I don't know if it's going to be enough against this Allegiance squad.
Yeah, look at their level. They're so below level. They have to be. Look at this collapse here. That's so dangerous. 4-man onto 2.
You can see.
And they're going to be able to kill, get a secure kill, but the Wonder Woman then ultimates, and she is safe and protected under the tower here.
Oh, but Rest is going to come in as well as MTS to kind of join the fray. Nguyen's going to try to do everything he can with that ultimate. Not going to be enough. They're going to balance the aggro. Eltran, however, is actually able to pick the kill up onto Sleepy, but meanwhile, MTS secures it onto Eltran. You can see Palm in the mid lane trying to push and help out with that crash, but it's not going to be enough as multiple members of Allegiance are on the top side of the map. Top lane, tier 1 is going to fall.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Beautiful Pooty Poots up. Again, Rest playing so aggressive. When he activates Pooty Poots, you see Teamy get that speed buff. He can use a chain lance to close the distance, land the stun, and then Malik was able, MTS was able to secure and get that kill.
Oh, Rest is going to be alive somehow. KO's going to be able to do a good job to get just enough of a knockout to allow the Teamy to get away. Meanwhile, MTS is going to join the fight. Palm's going to pop his ultimate, but how much does it actually matter as Nguyen falls to the hands of Allegiance? And so just like that, we're almost at the 6-minute mark, and 5,500 gold are already well in favor of Allegiance.
Yeah, this is just such a big snowball happening here. It's already 5 minutes and 50 seconds, and there's 8 kills on the side of Allegiance. And right now, what 0-9 needs to do is to slow this bleeding down, to take their jungle, farm up, get Wukong to the late game, because as I said, his passive is God of War. It basically allows him to do immense amounts of physical damage with a 10% critical chance, a permanent 10% critical chance. So if you build crit on this Monkey King, he can basically crit for days with his attack speed. So that's what they need to do. Get him to late game and try to get him Blacklight and delete Sleepy or Rocker in these fights.
And this is where we start to see the members of Allegiance kick on the button to overdrive, as they've got themselves over a 7,000 gold lead. They took tier 2 in the mid lane. Now you're gonna have a very simple take on the bot lane. 2 tier 2s already taken at the 6-minute 45-second mark. You've got minions on the bottom side of the map. You're gonna have a little bit of opportunity, but look at the poke coming out of Rocker. Not even the tank of Nguyen can do anything. MTS is gonna use that ultimate to come into the fight. They're gonna take down Palm immediately. High ground turret is going to fall. You got 2 siege minions available. I'm not sure if there's anything that 0-9 can do. Allegiance have rocked, Allegiance have rolled, and they have proven already in game number 1, while they are number 1 in North America. The Valheim works out. Victory for Allegiance. And just like that, Allegiance proves yet again why it doesn't matter what they pick, it doesn't matter what they choose, their execution is on par, on point, and pursued to perfection. That's a lot of P's, my friend. Sweej, welcome back. My friend, we were a little confuzzled when the Valheim pick came out, but I don't think it really mattered at that point because the objective control and everything in between was accomplished by Allegiance.
Yeah, Allegiance got the first dragon, and then they were able to convert. They had really nice 4-man rotations to top lane. The sandwich play that happened, rest on Teamy, was just phenomenal. He landed so many Pooty Poot stun that allowed them to make a lot of plays, get the kills, push down the towers, and it allowed Sleepy, honestly, to get to his mid-game power spike, because once AP Valheim gets his attack speed and abilities, it's just constant stuns and pokes for days, which can be very, very hard to deal with.
And so with that, Allegiance finds themselves 1 win away from getting right back into the semifinals. They have dominated the last 3 weeks of the Valor Series. Can anyone stop them at this point in time? And if so, how?
Yeah, again, they need to win draft against Allegiance. They need to get an early game composition, shut Allegiance out, invade them. If Allegiance plays double ADC, that's a really, really weak composition, because Valheim is really not that strong early game, and Yorn doesn't have much early game either. He doesn't have an escape like Slims does or Violet, right? So knowing that, they needed to abuse that and invade. But picking the Crash was a little questionable when Ryoma was open, so I feel like they need to pick much stronger early game side laners, because Crash doesn't really offer that much in the early game.
And so now, as we get players loaded into lobbies and get themselves set up for game number 2, 0-9 has a even taller battle to climb,
Yeah.
hill to climb, mountain to traverse, or is that the word? Traverse?
Yeah.
I think that's the word.
Traverse?
We're trying. Traverse, that's the word. Oh, English is hard sometimes.
It
but
is.
We're right into the pick ban phase. 0-9 on the blue, Allegiance on the red, and immediately Teamy taken off the table.
Yeah, Teamy was such a pain to deal with. Rest was such a good player on Teamy. This is why you don't give Teamy over to Rest. It's probably one of his best, or probably the best support hero that he can play. It looks like they may be opting to go and ban all of the mid lane mages again here on the side of Legion. We'll see if they're going to continue that trend.
So now you see Superman Teamy being banned away by 0-9. You see the Crest and the Tulin being banned away here by Allegiance. And so, despite the fact that Allegiance rolled, they had a little bit of respect potentially for that Crest pick.
Yeah, definitely. Crash being banned is very interesting. I don't think Crash has ever been banned until now. L'Oreal being taken off the map here. So let's see if Liliana is going to be banned, or they're going to hand it over to 0-9. Yep, they're going to take Liliana off the map. She's such a powerful mage. That queen, that fox form is so powerful. And Malik, a great first pick by 0-9 here.
So they're already starting themselves off a little bit stronger, securing them that Malik pick. But in the rebuttal, what is Allegiance going to go for? It's, of course, the early game aggression that we've seen them completely and utterly dominate upon. Ryoma and the Zenial, 2 very strong power picks coming in for Allegiance round 1.
Yeah, definitely. A really solid draft here from Allegiance. Zenio with Ryoma. Really strong early game. Ryoma has a Willing Blade stun, level 1 ability. Zenio can unlock his Malice level 1 and use that as AoE stun. So that's a really strong invade composition that they have lined up. But Malik and Thane are actually pretty strong early as well. So right now, drafts are pretty even. And Lindis going to be picked up for, looks like, the side of Allegiance on Rocker.
And so we're going to have a Gilder and a Lindis picked up. We saw a Gilder, I believe we've seen it once in the Valor series for North America so far. We're going to get some confirmations on the stats in just a second, but already a much stronger composition coming out of 0-9, however, looking like the Omen and the Violet to being the first pick for or the last picks rather for them.
Yeah, Gilder is someone that has a lot of pain points, especially once he gets late game. He's extravagant, is at long range. He launches a molten gold that explodes upon contact, and it slows you significantly and does AoE damage. And he also has this crazy ult called Indulgence. If you stand around him and he ults, you're going to get constantly stunned every second, and you can't really move. So Gilder is someone that, you know, probably can flicker. Yep, you can flicker ultimate, get in there, and CC the entire enemy team and just do work. And they have a stun from Ryoma. They have a stun from Zenyu as well. However, the side of 0-9, they do have Omen, which is really strong. Malik is really strong. So they have a lot of potential in the side lane to make some plays.
They do indeed, but the Gilder pick is something we're going to have to work on. We just checked it. Gilder has not actually been picked before in the Valor series. So first time ever here for North America as well as Europe. Now, not too sure how this one is going to work out. However, knowing the power that Sleepy can bring to the table, I'm not too worried about the presence that he's able to create. But looking at this composition from Allegiance, the Maraud, the Lindis, the Gilder, the Ryoma, and the Zennial, what are we thinking to be some of the power plays that they're going to be finding early?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if Rest is going to play a support Gilder, or is he going to play support Ryoma or support Zenio? There's a lot of options. So let's see what he's going to land on. And it looks like he's playing support Gilder,
this is
which
going
is
to be
what I
a
expected.
good one. We're going to tune in right now. It's North America's turn for the Valor Series. Quarterfinal number 1. Allegiance took themselves a swift kick of a victory in Game 1. Now Game number 2 places them oh so close to that semifinal berth.
Yeah, that huge play from Allegiance there, winning all 3 weeks at number 1, and puts them in such a comfortable lead that now they can experiment and try different compositions out in the Valor series here, because we have not seen Gilder played, and we have not seen a support Gilder before as well. So I'm really excited to see how Rest is going to leverage this Gilder play.
And so now 0-9 and Allegiance find themselves in an interesting place at minute number 1. Why? Because it's when Allegiance loves to come into their jungle. So you can see the Sage Golem is going to get contested a little bit. Rest is going to try to keep that vision onto Zika as well as Nguyen. Palm is going to be there for the support, so they're not going to be able to secure that Might Golem. They're going to have to get themselves a little bit of a back off, but in the meanwhile, Allegiance, just as I say that, all right, there's the knowledge for it. Might buff has gone over into the favor of Zika, but it doesn't matter because MTS wants to try to see if he can get himself on the mark. Nguyen's going to find himself very low. He's going to heal up as best as he can. MTS is going to backflip, then he's going to be able to pick up that kill on Nguyen. Meanwhile, Zika's going to find himself in a rough spot, going to roll over the mark, but it doesn't matter because Sleepy's going to put him right to sleep.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Thane should have went in there. He actually used his abilities, and once they knew his abilities out, once Thane charges in, he has no escape. He's dead meat if your team is not going to follow up and engage with you. So when Thane goes in like that with his charge, you have to follow up. You have to go in with him. And that was one unfortunate play by Zika there. They actually resetted the jungle monster and then fell behind in farm and lost, like, honestly 3 seconds trying to farm the jungle monster. And there's another thing also Zika did, that he kind of missed his grenade lob there from Violet, which could have done a lot of AoE damage and maybe turned that fight in their favor there.
So now Allegiance already finding themselves in quite the comfortable position, only up 1,500 gold, but when you consider the pressure that they have across the other stages of the map, that number becomes essentially irrelevant as Palm finds himself in a very rough spot. A great little skill shot there by Rest. MTS is able to pick himself up a kill, a second kill rather, for the Ryoma, and if there's anyone that you want to get that early game gold into, it is the snowball potential that Ryoma brings.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why Allegiance is playing so aggressive. Ryoma is so strong in early game. The reason why is because he has kind of 2 abilities level 1. His passive is a long-range melee hit And then he has that Willing Blade. He just used it. That Willing Blade stun that can hit. So kind of like 2 abilities level 1. That makes him unique and special in that regard, and why he's so dominant in that early game. That passive ability is called Najinata Jutsu, which sounds fancy, and it is fancy in terms of the amount of damage it does in that early game.
Well, not only does it sound fancy, but it achieves exactly what the name calls for, and that is death for the enemy. 2 extra kills now have gone into the hands of MTS. That Ryoma is now sitting at 4 kills at just the 3-minute 20-second mark, as Allegiance has control of the entire bottom side of the 0-9 roster. Eltran's gonna try to get himself off, but it's not gonna matter. Nice little bounce, nice little dodge. Rocker finds himself yet another kill. Bloodbath goes MTS, as Zika will find himself a fall in the meantime. And just like that, Allegiance, if we thought they were moving fast in game number 1, it is hyper speed for game number 2.
Yeah, look at how Rocker is playing this Murad. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to use that jungle minion and come and assassinate people under towers. Exactly how you want to play Mirage. Just infinite poke, and he can basically dodge towers with his ultimate, basically makes him immune to damage, and he can just disappear and blink right back to his original position where he started. So this is what makes Mirage so fun to play, and honestly, so fun to watch.
So now 0-9 finds themselves rather in a very unfortunate position, down 5,000 gold, just over the 4-minute mark. You already have 1 turret in favor of Allegiance. You can see Eltran finding himself caught out. Sleepy as well. It doesn't matter how much CC you have. If you do not have the defensive capabilities to handle the onslaught that is this Allegiance team, you might as well say goodbye. Head on the pillow, because it's lights out for Allegiance.
Yeah, my goodness. Allegiance is showing so much dominance. 12-0 at 4:45. The way they're comboing their abilities, the timing of MTS's or KO's Angelic Splendor ultimates as Zinio flying across the map and coming in to save his teammates. It's just amazing to watch how dominant this team is. And right now, 0-9, they need to regroup, they need to refocus, and Rocker's gonna go in there and try to get some kills.
Oh, the damage is crazy. It's gonna be just enough of the tick damage for Rocker to be able to pick up that kill. Sleepy in the meanwhile is gonna get healed up by the ultimate coming down from KO, so he's gonna end up finding himself to survive. And just like that, again and again, 17-0 Suijay, and 5 minutes into the game.
That is Gilder, the golden hero. He has the Midas touch. Indulgence, his ultimate, you saw Rest activated, capturing 2 of the enemy opponents stuck in it. He summons these golden shards in that circle that stun constantly and deal magic damage every single time you're hit. So that's why you have Flicker on Gilder. You can flicker in and activate Indulgence and just CC an entire enemy team. He is a beast, literal beast in the late game. And that's why when you play against a Gilder, don't let him get to the late game.
I just want to let you know that in 1 passive empowered auto attack by MTS, it took 25% of the tier 2 tower. The unbelievable amount of attack damage that he has at his disposal is all in the rather working in favor of Allegiance. 6 minutes, that means Dark Slayer is available, but Allegiance doesn't care. They just want to continue to push themselves and get them kills best that they can. You can see MTS on the bottom side of the map now. 1 simple attack string and Palm goes down to 50% HP. The waves are getting pushed up on all sides. And look at that. Just because you've got Rest sitting in the support position doesn't mean that it's damage, damage, damage all on the mark.
Yeah, that was so insane. Look at this. They're just constantly pushing and abusing. MTS there, focusing the tower, and then they're going to go ahead and focus and kill Palm. He has to use Malik's Shock Ultimate to disengage and run away, and that's not a good position to be in. So right now, 0-9 is being choked and starved down to every single jungle and tower at this point.
There isn't a single piece of resource that 0-9 can acquire at this point in time, because Allegiance is absolutely tearing through their base. A pre-7-minute, almost on the dot, high ground tower. You can see the poke damage coming out of MTS. He's going to be able to pick himself up that kill. They don't have any minions, so they're not capable quite yet pushing onto the core. However, might not necessarily realize that, considering the power that they're showing at this point in time. They're rotating towards the top side of the map. They've got a little bit of a wave coming. They're going to clear towards that top side, and just because they're ahead doesn't mean they need to be overzealous. They're going to push up, play safe, play smart, but more importantly, play like Allegiance.
Yeah, this is 20-0. Like, they might be trying to end the game here. Look at Rocker going in there, so aggressive there, landing the kill on Malik with his Tempo Turbos ultimate. Really nice job there with the aggression. This is what makes Murad so dangerous once he builds his damage items.
And so just like that, you can see the power of Rocker. It doesn't matter who he plays. It doesn't matter who you put him on. He's always going to perform at the highest level. MTS finds himself down. Will end up dodging out the skill shot from the Rocker. No one is wanting to be the first one to die for the side of Allegiance because of the dominating performance that they're showing right yet. You can see them coming down onto the high ground turret for the top side. They've got the minions at their disposal. Rocker's going to go in and try to get himself a little piece of poke. And it doesn't matter because every move that Allegiant makes, 0-9 find themselves deeper and deeper in the hole.
Yeah, Rocker's just constantly poking and abusing Murad's win condition there. And look at it, he's going to go in again, drops another dimension, and then he's going to be able to proc his ult, but he needs to get some attacks off. 2 more attacks, and Rocker activates his ult, and he looks like he's going to be able to get a kill on Omen. And wow, look at this dominance here. This is just too much for 0-9 to handle.
Here comes the super minions down the mid lane. MTS is able to pick himself yet up another kill. It doesn't matter. Triple ending up for Ryoma and MTS, and under 9 minutes yet again, Allegiance walks away with the victory. It didn't matter who they picked. It didn't matter who at all you put into the hands of Rocker, Rest, or any other of the Allegiance roster. They walk away yet again with a quarterfinal victory, placing themselves in their 5th straight semifinal appearance.
Yeah, this is why Allegiance is so dominant, winning the finals and not dropping one game the past 3 weeks. They just showed why they are the #1 team, and that was something hopefully 0-9 can learn a lot from.
Hopefully a learning experience, and you want to talk about a learning experience. How about you learn from the best support in North America that MVP is going to go right into the hands of Rest. He has created everything. And you know what? Might as well make it on someone that has shown their first appearance in the Valor Series with the performance on that Gilder.
Yeah, Gilder with that Midas touch. The way that Rest is landing these ultimates, the indulgence, the golden shards, constantly stunning everyone around him. Gilder just, like, he powers up like he's a Super Saiyan and just stuns everyone around him. And this is why, you know, Gilder is such a tough opponent to play into the late game.
Well, just like that, Allegiance secures themselves a 2-0 victory over 0-9, finding, like we said, their 5th straight semifinal appearance. They will be going up against the winner of Dark Power versus Upsla. Now, any thoughts or feelings on any of them, as well as the upcoming matches that we have?
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Dino Riders is going to play out against One Trick here, because Dino Riders is a solid team. They gave Allegiance actually a hard time, and One Trick as well. They've been constantly getting better and better every week. I've been really impressed with Zelf, Vayer on that squad. They've been constant. They changed their rosters a few times each week, but now I think they came together and have formed a more stable roster, and as a result, they're getting a lot of significant improvements week to week.
Well, we are just getting word that our next semifinal that was slotted, Upsla versus Dark Power, ended up resulting in a forfeit. Dark Power unable to field a roster. Therefore, Upsla will automatically find themselves against Allegiance in the semifinals. Now, looking forward to the following match, Dino Riders versus One Trick. Sweej, we've got to talk about it. Does One Trick have what it takes to potentially break into the top 4?
Yeah, I think they do. Based on feedback from the teams that scrim them, they're constantly improving. They're getting better. I think the key to that team is always Green, who's the captain, the leader, the one that put the team together. I think if the team plays either aggressive with him, when he goes in, they all go in, or he needs to play less aggressive, but sometimes Always Green kind of overextends. He wants to get vision for his team, and as a result, he gets caught out, and that's been happening a lot lately. So as long as they can fix that and work together as a unit, they have a really good chance of upsetting Dino Riders, who I think is a slightly better team.
Well, question for you if you're watching in Twitch chat. Ever wondered what questions you could ask, or what questions you would ask if you could ask that to a professional player? Well, you have an opportunity to do so in the chat. Make sure you're checking out the link. There is that link so you can submit your questions and ask a pro player how you feel, whether it be about the game, whether it be about the experience as a professional, or anything of the mark. Now, Sweej, you yourself have been a professional, and it's quite a different experience, especially when you're playing for a high caliber organization, regardless of where that is in the world.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. You have to practice a lot. You're just like an athlete. You have to play 10 plus hours. Even on your off time, you're playing at night, late at night. You're playing when you wake up. You're constantly improving your mechanics because the more you practice, the better you get. But it has to be quality practice. It has to be focused practice. You also need some balance. You can't burn yourself out, which happens a lot with many pro players. But this is a game. It's a mobile game. It's easy to practice, easy to pick up, easy to be really good at. And at the highest tier of play, it's a really joy to watch.
Well, just like that, the first 2 of our quarterfinals are unfortunately completed. However, don't worry about it. We've got 2 more up the mark. We're going to take ourselves a quick little break, and when we return, it's our 3rd quarterfinal of the day.
Welcome to the Hero Spotlight for Lindis, the Sentinel. Lindis is a powerful marksman who excels in bursting down her enemies. Although she doesn't have any dash ability, her mobility will get boosted while she's passing through the brush. Lindis's second ability, Entrapment, can help her reveal enemies who are trying to sneak attack. Want to assassinate Lindis? Not so easy. Passive, Tread Softly. When Lindis passes through the brush, she will increase her movement speed and strengthen her next normal attack for a short period of time. The strengthened attack will fire 2 arrows with each arrow dealing physical damage, 4-second cooldown. As a good Lindis player, you should make the most of the benefits from fighting in the brush. Use the extra mobility and damage as an edge to prevail in battles. The same works for clearing monsters. The extra speed and damage can make it much more efficient, letting Lindis to grow faster in the early game. First ability, Piercing Gaze. Lindis illuminates the area around her and reveals the location of nearby enemy heroes for 5 seconds. This ability can be stored 2 times. After learning this ability, when Lindis hits the same enemy 3 times, the target will suffer an additional physical damage. Piercing Gaze can be used to discover enemy heroes in stealth mode, such as Batman. When entering unknown territory, Lindis can release Piercing Gaze in advance to view her surroundings to avoid a possible gank from the enemy. Second ability, Entrapment. Lindis sets a trap that lasts for 2 minutes. The trap will slow enemy movement speed by 30%, reveal enemy locations, and after a short while, deal physical damage. Lindis can store and set up to 2 traps. Traps will become invisible 2 seconds after being set. While landing, Lindis can cast Entrapment into the river and brush. This will give her better vision and can discover enemies' attack in advance. Ultimate Lunar Champion. Lindis calls forth a spirit to attack enemies, dealing physical damage and adding any bonus normal attack effects from equipped items or buffs. She can store this ability up to 5 times. The ultimate is Lindis's main ability to deal damage. Since it can also trigger a critical hit, here we recommend to equip items that can boost critical chance to help maximize the Lunar Champion's damage output. When playing Lindis, here are some things to remember. 1. Lindis has many ways to combo skills together. One of the common combo is to use the first ability, Piercing Gaze, to reveal opponent's position. Follow it up by second ability, lay entrapment right underneath enemy target, then use the ultimate, Lunar Champion, and normal attacks to finish off the enemy. Combo sequence is 1 + 2 + A + ultimate. Don't panic when enemy is attacking. Lindis can first run into brush, then lay second ability underneath enemy to slow him. This will lead Lindis to a successful escape. 2. Lindis's first ability, Piercing, can deal extra damage when hitting the same target twice. Thus, try not to change the target while Piercing is activated. 3. Lindis doesn't have any dash ability. She can easily get killed by warrior or assassin. Thus, it's better to take Flicker as Summoner's talent, which can boost her mobility and help her survive longer in the game. 4. Lindis can use normal attack to kite enemy while moving, especially after obtaining Might Golem. Then she can use her ultimate to cancel normal attack's ending move, save a bit more time, and follow it up with normal attack again. Thanks for watching today's Hero Spotlight on Lindis. See you on the battlefield.
Allegiance walks away with a victory. Swift kick 2-0. Not only that, but you've got Upsla that secured themselves a victory. Despite the forfeit, they still find themselves in the semifinals. So, 2 of the 4 teams have moved on to Saturday, but now it's time for the second half to take effect. It's going to be Dino Riders taking on One Trick. Now, both of these teams have an opportunity to make it. One Trick is sitting at 6th seed with 185 points. Dino Riders sitting not comfortable at 3rd with only 240.
Yeah, but both teams have improved so much. One Trick was actually one of the teams that was relegated and then got back into the Valor Series. So they've been doing a good job of keeping at it, and as a result, it's rewarding and paying off for them. However, they are facing Dino Riders, which is a team that has also improved significantly. They've also updated their roster and added Medic on the team, who's formerly known as Chicken. So I'm excited to see how this new roster is going to play out.
Chicken, or aka Dino, being added to the squad. Let's actually go into Dino as well as the rest of his teammates for the Dino Riders. Chosen, Medic, Yikes, Hoon, and CLZ. Now, Medic, as we said, formerly known as Chicken, was added. Beast was dropped, and I'm really interested to see how he's going to do with this new revamped and more powerful Dino Riders roster.
Yeah, and Beast was one of the better players on the team, too. CLZ, though, his Omen is phenomenal. So he's one of the players that I'm really watching. And Sojourn, who's formerly Jordy, actually has significant experience. One of the most experienced players in the game, actually. He's played on Team Liquid, on Immortals, so he offers a lot of leadership and experience that I think may be beneficial to Dino Riders.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at their opponent. It's going to be One Trick, a team that has found themselves in the middle of the pack. Bruticus, Vayer, Zelf, Dual Spirals, and Always Green. Now, this roster has been shuffled around over the course of the last 5 weeks. However, what we saw from them in week number 4 shown signs of life that they do have what it takes to make it to E3.
Yeah, they had Erde, and then they replaced Erde with Dual Spirals. So I'm really excited to see how this team has come together. They got relegated, came back in. I'm most interested to seeing how Bruticus and Vayer does, because those are their side laners. And when they do well, the team is able to really have these nice rotations and collapse onto objectives, win the Abyssal Dragon. But if Bruticus struggles like he did, he had Superman and he lost really hard, I think that's going to really be an ominous sign of how the team's going to do against Dino Riders.
All right, this was the matchup in North America that we all wanted to see. I know that was something that we highlighted a lot in our preparation. Now I have to ask you, Sweej, is it going to be Dino Riders or One Trick taking the victory?
I'm going to have to make my bet on Dino Riders, and I think it's going to be a nice best of 3. It's going to go all the way to 3 and then 2-1 Dino Riders.
Only 55 points separate these two teams, and so a win here could place either one of them much more comfortably in the possibility to get themselves to the top 4, which will send them to the regional finals for North America at E3. But Twitch chat, we want to know what you think as well. Make sure you let us know, Dino Riders or One Trick, who is going to come out on top. Now, as players get loaded into lobby and we get the pick ban phase started very shortly, we've talked a lot about both of these teams, and Dino Riders specifically need to find a much better draft phase because that has been one of their weak points over the last few weeks.
Yeah, they have to make sure they pick up key picks like Ryoma. That's something they cannot hand over to the enemy team because Ryoma is so strong in early game. Hoon has been a great addition to the team. He's been someone that's been added to the roster, and Yikes also has played Zale, but he hasn't been the most successful, so I'm wondering if Yikes is able to adapt to the ADC meta, and he needs to learn how to juggle aggro. I see him going in so hard. His team needs to commit with him, but he needs to know when to back out as well and not get killed because he's so aggressive. And yep, they actually took Ryoma away. They banned Teamy. Overall, solid bans, typical NA bans in terms of side lanes and Teamy being prioritized.
Nothing out of the ordinary for either one of these teams. Now, because North America has a much different preference than both of these teams, Ryoma we have seen at a 93% ban rate. He has had a 100% pick ban in every single week except for week number 3. Not sure where teams were falling him out of favor. However, he still finds himself at the second most picked hero in the entirety of the Valor Series for North America. So Ryoma, Teamy, Liliana, and Superman being taken off, as well as Wonder Woman, who finds herself very close to the top as well.
So Malik, Zenio, all looking pretty good. They'll probably either ban Malik or Zenio here, or leave both open, because if the other team takes Malik, they get Zenio. Take Zenio, you get Malik. So let's see. Malik will be taken off the map. That's going to leave Zenio as a first pick option. And as a result, they can pick Omen into that. They can put COZ on his Omen. Actually, no, COZ's not playing on the side of One Trick. So can Bruticus or Bear play that Omen? Because Omen is such a good pick here because he cancels and counters the Zenio so hard.
Instead, they decide to go ahead and first pick themselves up that Zenio to get it into the hands of their side laners for the Dino Riders. Now, as you mentioned, as you mentioned, One Trick has to find a way to play that Omen. It looks like Bruticus might be the one that ends up getting the call. Zelf, in the meanwhile, will lock into Lubu for their team. And look at what you have on the rebuttal. 2 globals potentially on the pockets for the Dino Riders squad as Max and Alice become the hover. I love the decision to immediately pick themselves up the Alice, wait a little bit longer for their mid lane pick because they need to protect from the dive.
Yeah, what One Trick needs to play is a heavy dive composition. Even though they have Alice, Max counters their ADC. If they pick ADC, it's going to be really hard for them. So they have to pick a composition that can dive. Kilgroth would be really good because Kilgroth is immune to CC. So if Alice ults, it doesn't matter. He's going to be immune to that CC and be able to stick onto the carries and do so much work. And instead, they picked the Prado, which is interesting. I think Tulin would have been a better pick. And you can see here, Violet being picked up means either it forces One Trick to go dive or ADC. ADC could work, but they need to make sure they counter the Max when he goes in on their ADC here.
They're going to have to make sure that they're very careful because Prada can be dodged upon immediately by that Max, and if you really so choose and you want to get really frisky with your dives, you could throw the Zenio ult on top as well to have both the frontline members on the faces of One Trick's backline. It's going to be the Zephys as the final lock-in for One Trick, and so compositions have been created. Tulin and Violet are the final backline picks for the Dino Riders, and I like this composition by the Dino Riders. It's much more balanced than some of the compositions that we've seen. They've got a strong early game. You've got the Tulin to help out a little bit, as long as the Alice roams, as well as the late game scaling that you're going to have provided by that Violet.
Yeah, and I recognize CLZ came from GAU, Glory Waits Us. He was so good on that team. Now he's actually playing with Dino Riders, which now makes my prediction a lot more comfortable because he is such a good side laner. So I think what they need to do here is get Violet to that mid-game, late-game power spike and abuse and just win the lane really hard. The side of One Trick, they need to win the side lanes and then collapse and pressure and get these objectives so Violet never gets to her late-game power spike.
Well, you heard it here first from Mr. Suijay himself. The winning strategies have been decided. Draft phase is completed. But Twitch chat, what are you thinking? What are you wondering? 93% in One Trick. That is a quite the believable entry. We're gonna have to, see and figure out exactly how that one's gonna play out.
The community favorite. They've done a good job getting support.
They
from
have
the community.
indeed. Now, One Trick, we have found them getting better and better each week, but the difficulty that we have seen from them throughout our research and throughout our knowledge of One Trick is how they're going to be able to maintain a complete game. They've had shines of light in the early, they've had shines of light in the late, but it needs to be a complete game if they have any chance of beating Dino Riders as we get ourselves into game 1 of our third quarterfinal of the day, Dino Riders versus One Trick.
Yeah, and like you said, One Trick there. Oh, look at this. Dino Riders can go for the invade here. Yikes is going to be able to drag this over. And look at this, the new meta there, cutting the wave and then going straight to red. We saw that in EU. For the Dream pulled that off. What a nice reset by Yikes there. He basically wasted their time on the red, and now as a result, they don't get the red buff. Dino Riders gets the red buff, and now they can collapse here and try to steal this red. If Yikes can steal this red from them, that's going to set One Trick really, really behind. So let's see what he does.
Yikes is going to try to wait just long enough. He's going to try to see just if he can get any sort of vision. He's going to try to get some sort of attack on there. But it doesn't matter because he's going to find 3, make that 4 members. I'm not sure what Yikes was doing. You didn't have any of the team to support, and so First Blood is going to go into always green.
He also was level 1. He shouldn't have showed himself. He should have just got out of there. Level 1, and when the enemy team got level 2, because they cut the wave, and then they got the red golem, as a result, they were able to all get level 2. And when that happens, you're level 1, you need to get the heck out and not try to contest when you're level 1.
And so now you find yourselves down a kill, only 800 gold. One Trick finds themselves up, however, because of that 1 kill. Shozen is going to get himself in a little bit of a rough spot. Vayner and Always Green are going to roam towards that top side. Now, Always Green has been much more of one of the aggressive supports that we've seen over in North America. Meanwhile, Dual Spiral, just as I say, that's actually going to end up going down. Hoon going to be able to pick up that kill, but this is where things are very feast or famine for One Trick, because you have Always Green, a support that likes to gank these side lanes quite often, as opposed to providing support towards the middle of the map, and that works in great instances if you can pick up the kills, but it leaves your mid laners open for ganks, which is exactly what we saw. Hoon picking up that kill, Bruticus trying to do everything he can to contest. Abyssal Dragon, however, is going to go into favor of CLZ. Bruticus is going to fall in the meanwhile, so 1 kill, 1 Abyssal Dragon, Dino Riders.
Yeah, I knew CLZ is playing so well. He carried Glory Awaits Us in his last team. Now he's on Dino Riders. Look at his Violet. He actually plays side lane. Now he's playing jungle. His Violet, he's landed every single fire in a hole. That grenade lob that launches, it slows down the opponent for a nice 90 seconds for 1 second. He used that to get the kill on dual spirals in the mid lane. It allowed him to rotate to Dragon. He secures the Dragon with an awesome punch, but look at him doing so much work. CLZ is the main carry on this team, so One Trick's going to have to watch out for him.
When you have the support of the rest of your team, it doesn't matter how weak of an early game you think you might have, because everyone is here to party. Hoon's going to find himself in a rough spot. He's going to get knocked up by Always Green, but Yikes is there to kind of help him out. They will force the disengage, however. One Trick is not able to pick themselves up some kills, yet finding themselves only 100 gold behind.
Yeah, this is not looking bad for either side here. It's going to come down to who's going to be able to force these objectives down. And speaking of objectives, they're able to get 1 tower. However, Dino Riders is in the lead objective-wise. But they do have Violet. They do have Alice. We know Violet and Alice are going to be so strong and so tough to deal with in the late game because of how their kit scales into late game.
So now we find ourselves in a little bit of a lull. You've got the line of scrimmage being drawn in the river, something that we've seen all too many times. Chosen and Valor doing the best they can to kind of combat themselves. It does look like the Seagull will go into the hands of Dino Riders, but not only that, they're going to pick themselves up a kill. Medic secures that for the Dino Riders, and now with 3 members in the top lane, no one is available to defend that top tower.
What a nice rotation. Again, Alice, Medic, doing such a good job with CLZ. They rotate up, get the kill, and that's going to be a tower for them here. Sojin's going to go 1v2 against Always Green and Dual Powers, but looks like they have to retreat now because Hoon is going to be coming up, rotating to make sure they get this top tower.
It was just enough of a delay to allow CLZ to get some extra damage onto the tower. So they're going to have to wait, however, till the next wave. But a great rebuttal coming out of One Trick. Both members, Bruticus and Zeph, that were on the bottom side of the map, were able to secure themselves that Abyssal Dragon.
Yeah, that was huge to stay even. Both teams are playing so well right now. They're trading objectives. They're rotating. They're getting ganks on each other. They're playing precise. And now it's going to come down to who is going to make the bigger mistake. That's the key. Who's going to miss their skill shot, right? Who is going to make those mistakes? They be out of position and get caught out. That's going to result in giving the lead over to the other side. So both teams have to play a little cautious, but they also have to be decisive and aggressive. When they see someone out of position, they need to capitalize on it.
So now we find ourselves in a place where Dino Riders need to make themselves a decision. They have all the aggression in the world. We know that that's in the pockets of Dino Riders, but finding themselves a little bit more calculated efforts as they need to secure themselves some objectives, as One Trick does have the ability to combat themselves in the late game. The scaling that they have at their disposal is great. However, CLZ and the rest of Dino Riders are able to handily secure themselves a tower in the top lane. Chosen, in the meanwhile, is going to have to be forced to jump. Dodge. Is he going to dodge enough? Barely alive. Just as I say that, however, he will end up going down. Meanwhile, you're going to have the rest of the rotation coming out of the Dino Riders. While Zelf is able to pick up the kill onto Chosen, you can see Zelf actually coming himself really low. Hoon's going to have to get a nice little snipe there. Lubu goes down. That's Bruticus. Always Green is surviving by the skin of his teeth. Is it going to be in more on there? It is the ultimate 1 snipe.
Hoon.
No, 2 snipe. Hoon walks away with the double.
That's exactly how you want to play Tulin. When you kill somebody with his Thunderbird ultimate, it actually resets his ultimate, and he's going to ult again, getting 3 kills. When you ult someone and you kill them, that Thunderbird ultimate from Tulin does 30% missing health damage, and it resets the cooldown by 80%. And he just used the ultimate 3 times to secure 3 kills. What a play from this guy. What a monster.
Hoon says hashtag worth 3 kills for my death. I'll take it because my team is going to follow up suit. In the meanwhile, tier 1 tower in the middle goes down in favor of the Dino Riders, and now with all 5 members left alive, Hoon is going to hightail it from base because what is next? Abyssal Dragon.
Yeah, you think about it, Dino Riders actually updated their roster. Hoon is new, CLZ is new, Medic is new, so they have exchanged 3 people on their roster, and now this roster looks like they're playing pretty well together. I mean, CLZ and Hoon are just on the same page. They both play extremely aggressive. They're both mechanically so talented. So it's great to see Dino Riders continuing to evolve and get better and better with this roster they have put together. Right now, what One Trick needs to do is they have to try to get on to CLZ or Hoon. That is your job. With Vire being on Omen, he can use a Death Embrace, lock down one of those carries, get Zephy's in there to use his Death from Above ultimate to stun the team and get some kills.
And so now Hoon is going to pick himself up yet another kill. Bruticus is falling, shows it on the back line, and there's nothing that One Trick can do. The snowball from Dino Riders, despite only having a 400 gold lead, it is the power in the pockets of the carries that are putting themselves ahead in a lead away from One Trick. They're going to be waiting for this minion wave to cross down into the mid lane so they can try to get themselves some more damage onto this tier 2 tower. One Trick only 800 gold behind, but they need to stabilize because the objective control is severely in the hands of the Dino Riders.
Yeah, and they gotta fight together. This is a big opportunity we saw from last week. All 4 people would basically use all of their abilities and ultimates at the same time, and they have to get some synergy here. They gotta fight together. Bruticus went in as Lubu solo, and then he was just completely focused by the entire enemy team. That's not something you want to do. Lubu is very tanky. However, he's not that tanky if he can be hit and bursted down by 5 members of the enemy team. They have to go together. If Lubu goes in, if Bruticus dives, the entire team needs to go in. They have Zephyrs, they have Preda, they have Omen, they have a lot of CC. Zephyrs has Death from Above. It's an AoE stun knock-up, right? Omen has Death's Embrace. It can CC down and lock that person into a gauntlet for 5 seconds. You have Lumber ultimate. You have Preda Poison Gas Bomb. When Preda uses the ultimate, it's a stun, and you have Lubu who has a knock-up. They have to combo this really well for them to be able to win some of these fights.
And so now you're going to see a very split rotation coming out of the Dino Riders, and I'm not too sure what they were thinking on this because Abyssal Dragon goes handily into the favor of One Trick. I liked the idea of Shozen to use that ultimate to get himself to the bottom side of the map, but unfortunately he took way too many tower shots, was at 50% HP, and had to back up and away from this One Trick squad. And so just like that, you see some indecisiveness coming out of Dino Riders.
Yeah, exactly, and they really take advantage of that. One Trick is doing a good job staying in the gold game. They're not bad behind in gold, which is surprising given that they've lost 2 towers versus 1 and even on Abyssal Dragon. But look at this engage here. Zeno comes in, the Astral drop, Zephyrs is right in the back there, and look at the damage coming out.
Zelf is going to try to get himself onto the back line. Fire in the meanway, and is going to be able to pick up that kill onto CLZ. Hoon's going to try to do everything he can to kind of kite back. Lubu in the meanwhile is going to try to get all of the damage on the backside. Bruticus take down Hoon, and so indecisiveness of Dino Riders has resulted in 2 members' deaths. Shozen, though, is able to pick up that kill on the dual spirals. He's now dueling in the backside with Vare. They're going to be forced to disengage. Bruticus, meanwhile, is caught in between Medic, Shozen, and the rest of the Dino Riders' base. He's going to try to get all of the damage on the backside of the map. Always Green and Vare are joining the fray. The fight has not ended. Stun. They do not care. Medic is trying to provide as much support as he can. The best form of the ambulance, and Shozen picks up 1. He picks up 2. The ultimate's going to come out from Always Green, but it doesn't matter because the Dino Riders turn it around on the back of the Alice.
That was such a crazy fight. Alice, Medic, this guy is playing so well, landing multiple party stuns, and that was what helped him win. Sojin comes behind. It was a 5v4 in the get-go. Zelf was able to get onto CLZ, kill the Violet, and that put the fight in the advantage, but now Sojin dies to the Darkslayer. That's very unfortunate. They can't let Zephyr do this.
CLZ is able to pick up that kill. Last little hit of Zephyr. Zelf is going to realize that he needs to get the heck out of there, but the snipe coming in from Hoon. It is unbelievable the grouping shots that Hoon is able to secure with these ultimates.
Yeah, that was such a crazy fight there, but Medic really carried in that late game. But Sojin coming in to clean up the fight and winning 2v3, that was just insane plays. That was such a joy to watch, and we can see why Medic was added to this roster because his skill shotting has just been on point lately.
And so now, 11 minutes in the game, only a 2,500 gold lead into the favor of Dino Riders, but every fight is seeming to go their way. However, to the advantage of One Trick, unfortunately, Dino Riders, while they get themselves some kills and they find themselves in great spots, they're going to need to find themselves some objectives because they have only still gotten 2 towers at 11.5 minutes.
Yeah, and Violet doesn't even have a third tier 3 item yet. Once she gets that third tier 2 item, she's gonna do so much damage. They're pretty even in terms of level for the most part, but Violet's already level 14, and she has the most or second most gold after the Hoon there at 6.6k. She's gonna finish that third tier 3 damage item soon, and that's gonna be a lot.
Valor being forced to flicker away because he knows he's not gonna be able to handle the dive potential coming out of Dino Riders. You've got the minion waves crashing down on the tier 2 in the mid lane. Now we're going to have a little bit of a warding off. Yikes is going to say, get the heck away from my team. We're going to take your tower. It's going to all belong to us. Shozen in the meanwhile is going to try to get healed up, but it's not going to matter because the tower and Bruticus are going to be able to pick up that final kill. Yikes is going to be able to try to get him onto the backside of the map. Going to be forced to disengage, but Dino Riders still secure a tower.
What a nice pull there. Omen did such a good job. He's able to pull Shoujin right back into the fight. He's trying to get out his max there, secure that kill on their tower, and force the aggression to then back off. But look at Violet. She just finished her Omni Arms. She has Clav Sancti. That crit percent, that crit chance has now improved dramatically. Now you got to look for that burst, that 2,000 plus crit hits that you're going to see come off of Violet. It's going to be very dangerous and very hard to do it. So they have to focus on Violet in a lot of these fights now.
And you have to consider what are the worrying trends that One Trick has that isn't putting them in an advantageous position. Dual Spirals is the question mark for me. 0, 2, and 6 is only sitting at 5,500 gold. That's only 800 gold in front of his support player, Suijay. It's not the place that they're wanting to be in, considering they need his scaling and his damage in the late game to milk himself out. But now Shozen's going to go on the back line just as we're talking about Dual Spirals. He's going to make sure that he becomes essentially irrelevant in this fight. Yikes as well pops his ultimate. Hoon will end up picking the kill on his Elf on the backside. And now the cavalry from the Dino Riders, but more importantly, the damage has arrived. That's 4 members down. Always Green is the only one left, but the last snipe. That's going to be a triple kill going down for the Dino Riders, and with 30-second death timers, that could be the game.
Man, Hoon is so impressive on this. Tulin, he's landing all of his skill shots, getting perfect Thunderbirds, and Medic landing these Sunshine Ultimates, and Violet landing a lot of her skill shots, doing so much damage with Tactical Fire. But Shoujin and Yikes really carry that. They're able to go and distract and do so much damage into an uneven matchup. It was 2 versus 4, but they got so much AoE damage as Zenio, as Max, doing so much damage and sacrificing their lives and allowing their team to then clean up and get this ace was massive for the side of Dino Riders.
And I love Dino Riders' understanding of let's not go overzealous. They're able to take 2 high ground towers, so super minions are going to be coming down the waves in their favor. They're going to secure every single jungle, monster, and minion on the bottom side of the map. All the Sage jungle for One Trick has now been taken by the Dino Riders. They're going to loot themselves around because it is now the bottom's lane turn to go down.
Yeah, it is the bottom lane's turn to go down, and they're probably going to get this tower here. Lubu is by himself. Bruticus cannot defend this tower. He just needs to get out and not give a death order. Look how fast CLZ takes that tower. With Muramasa, that's a 45% armor pierce. Omni Arms gives extra burst damage. Every time Violet uses an ability, it makes the next attack do extra damage within 5 seconds. 100% more physical damage, actually, and that's an item that synergizes so well with Violet.
There's not a single member of One Trick that wants to go in at this point in time because the damage there, look at that 953 crit coming out of CLZ. You can see the Violet steamrolling at this point in time. A whiffed ultimate coming out of Always Green. They're going to try to deny and wave clear, but you still have the range available on the Violet. She's still going to be able to do almost 400 damage despite the fact that it has damage reduction.
Yeah, look at that crit. 2,000 almost. The tower actually has close to 80% damage on it without a minion wave, but look at the damage she's doing onto it. She's able to whip it slowly away there and do damage, and they take the tower, and look at this is why Violet's so dangerous. George Power gets knocked out immediately and gets blown up. Fire is there. He's on the back line. Zelf is trying to get on the back line and do some damage, but Always Green falls by Yikes, and look at Dino Riders go.
3 members are only the ones left alive, but you've got the minions on the base, and just like that, it's going to be ignoring of the kills. Dino Riders walk away with game 1. On their steads, they rode into battle. The Dino Riders, however, on the back of Velociraptors as they tore One Trick apart. the end of game number 1. Welcome back to the desk. Jump, Mr. Sweej. Sir, that was, at the end of the day, Dino Riders one step ahead of One Trick every step of the way.
That was such a fun match to watch. I mean, both teams just played really, really well. So, I mean, it was the match I called would be the most fun today in the quarterfinals. Both One Trick made some plays. They did some really good rotations. They were even on Abyssal Dragons 2-2, but honestly it came down to how CLZ and Hoon carried the game. And then Medic as well. Those three are the MVPs of that team. Medic landed so many sunshine stuns onto 3 or more people, and great hissy fit ultimates that came out as well. And you can see that Alice in the late game does so much damage and it synergizes so well with Hoon, which allowed Hoon to get so much kills. And his Thunderbird, the way he got 3 kills with Thunderbird was just a feast to watch.
90% kill participation for Medic on that Alice. He changed his name from Chicken over onto Medic. Why? Because he wanted to be the support for his team. But our one replay is actually going to be something that you just talked about, the Hoon 3K.
Yeah, watch this. This is what makes Sojin actually makes a mistake here. Going in 1v3 or 4 pretty much, getting the kill, and watch Yikes, getting in, landing a 2-man Malice here, getting so much damage, and Hoon is going to be able to rotate. They're pretty low health, and when you're low health, you need to run away from the 2-in. Watch Hoon proc Thunderbird there. It's going to get he's going to proc it right here and secure the kill onto that enemy team, doing massive AoE damage right there. Boom, Bruticus falls, and then as it puts it down, you kill somebody with that ultimate, it puts it on an 80% cooldown, and it refreshes his passive, which is the 5 lightning bolts, Thunderclap. And Thunderclap does so much damage, hitting each enemy. And look at the other. The second Thunderbird comes out, he is just launching huge Kamehamehas at his enemy opponents and just killing them. And look how aggressive. If his team rotated with him, his team should have rotated with Hoon here, because he gets another kill. Zelf is such low health, and boom, lands it and gets the kill, and also dies to Ver there. But what awesome Tulinpei, understanding the limits of his hero, and that's why I see these players doing such amazing gameplay, because they understand the limits of the hero and they push it to the limit.
We have seen a L'Oreal mega kill today. We've seen now Hoon understanding the exact cooldowns of his ultimate, as well as knowing exactly when to hop in and out of these fights. It's the Valor Series. You expect the best of the best, but it's more important and more exciting when you experience the best of the best. Now, we haven't seen One Trick's best quite yet. They did fall in game number 1. They're going to have an opportunity to tie it up here in game number 2. What can they do to tighten things up and potentially even up this series?
Yeah, One Trick, they continue to do what you're doing with these rotations, with these ganks. I love their level 1 invade. However, Yikes was able to pull and reset the red golem, but they did get the kill on Yikes. The first blood is actually significant. So once they do that, they need to make sure that they continue to win objectives, and they need to save their towers. They need to counter-rotate and stop these rotations from taking tower and getting ganks on them, and they'll be fine, because most of the game, even though they're behind objectives, the gold was mostly even. So One Trick actually played really, really well.
They did a good job at stopping the bleeding. We're going to get the lobby started just shortly for game number 2. Now, important to note, Dino Riders will find themselves in counter-pick potential with the red side. One Trick will be securing themselves the blue. Now, you talked about what One Trick needs to do to tighten things up. How can Dino Riders potentially carry themselves to a game 1 to now a game 2 victory?
Yeah, they need to keep up their winning. Look at that, those respect, man. They're just taking VOD away from CLZ. Such a good player. It's great to see as the competitive scene develops how the good players meld and build synergy with each other. Because Hoon was new, Medic is new, and CLG new, and those 3 new players are literally carrying the Dino Rider team right now. So I'm really excited to see which heroes are they gonna get and how they're gonna continue to play it. Because that's the key to Dino Riders. If those 3 do well, I can see them doing and taking off to get the 2-0 against One Trick.
The 2-0, I know Dino Riders will be happy, but you'll be happy as well, as you have the potential to get one more point to that illustrious 90% prediction rate that you have.
Liliana.
Superman, Violet, Max, Wonder Woman, Teamy, and Ryoma, which leaves open immediately the Liliana as a first pick.
Wow,
for
look at that Malik and Zenio pick. That's such a strong duo. That's so scary to play against. They have massive AoE ultimate with Shock. They have a Malice AoE stun, and they have Angelic Splendor. It reduces damage by 40% on the target hero that is affected. And Omen, such a good pick, and Lubu as well. Lubu can beat a Malik in side lane there, and Omen counters actually both of them in side lane. So One Trick's draft is looking really solid right now because they're good protection as well for Liliana. Liliana has so much poke, the highest range of any mage. And they're going to go and pick the Slims and Alice here. Wow, that is 4 CCs on the side of Dino Rider. They combo this Slims, it's going to be devastating against One Trick.
Dino Riders have done a phenomenal job at synchronizing their team fights up to almost perfection in multiple matches. There's a reason why they're standing as high as they are coming into week number 5. Remember, Dino Riders are the 3rd seed. We don't talk about them as much. It's the Allegiance and Immortals that individuals are used to hearing in North America, but you can't discount any other of the top 4. Dino Riders proving last game that they can hang with the top.
I really like Thane. Thane is so good into Alice. You know, Thane, his ultimate, right? Alice can't really block, and it does 15% of your missing health, and it's AoE. So if they're low and he ults, Thane can literally wipe an entire enemy team. And he's such a good frontline as well. He can charge in there and really tank for his team, along with Lubu following up with his Red Stallion and knocking up people in the air. So honestly, both drafts look really, really solid. I'm excited to see which team is going to come out on top.
Now, One Trick and Dino Riders have a lot on the line here, considering the fact that they are only 55 points apart. The Liliana being the first pick into the hands of One Trick. Do you feel that with this composition, this gives the the composition they have built around Liliana, does it enable her to potentially carry this game, or whose hands is it really in?
Yeah, they can fight around the bush and just poke. Lindis can poke with her passive Tread Softly. She launches 2 auto attacks right from outside bush with the speed buff. And they have Thane, who can peel really well. Lubu can peel for Liliana and Lindis. And also you have the Omen. The Omen can peel as well. He has that grab pull. That Death's Beacon, basically. He can grab opponent's back and peel, and also he can activate Death's Embrace, which locks the enemy opponent into a circle for 5 seconds. So they have really, really good peel to protect Liliana and Lindis here.
All right, well, we want to make sure what you're thinking at any and all times. You've seen it all day. Do you enjoy the mustache? Do you like it? Should it stay? Should it go? Let us know. Hashtag Valor Series on Twitter. We want to know what you're thinking at home. That way we can pull it up on screen and roast Tweejay all the day long. But roasting is going to be saved for later as One Trick versus Dino Riders. Dino Riders is up 1-0 in our 3rd quarterfinal of the day.
Yeah, I'm loving Thane here. Thane is underrated, I feel. He can be such a monster in the right hands. And look at this aggressive rotation. Shojin now resetting the red buff, which is so smart. Vaer did not. So that means it's going to give Dino Riders a head start on their jungle rotation. They're going to have to stay in the jungle and trade this, because if they don't trade for red buff, it's going to be all wasted for naught.
So now you find a nice little invade there coming from the side of One Trick. We've seen One Trick again. One Trick is a team that we have seen pop off in every stage, early, middle, and late, but the difficulty that they have found is completing an entire game as a whole. They'll be strong in one section and weak in the other, but having some solid invades in the earlier stages of this game definitely has helped them thus far. Hoon is going to have to be forced to disengage Sage Golem being taken by CLZ as well, making sure that they don't get 3-buffed. One Trick, or sorry, rather, Dino Riders wants to make sure that they keep the buffs in their hand. Medic on that Alice again. We've seen the rise of Alice, and I love watching these support players over in North America perform as well as they have on her.
Yeah, and look at Yikes there, being able to grab that as Malik there. Very interesting, because Lubu doesn't have Punish. He has Flicker instead of Punish there. So that's an interesting talent choice by the side of Blue Inside, because normally you want to get Punish in the side lane, because that allows you to farm, feed, get the Seagull, get the opponent's jungle, steal it, and then just jump away with Red Stallion. So interesting that Lubu decided to get Flicker instead. Maybe he wants to use that to get onto the back line of Dino Riders.
So now One Trick as well as Dino Riders find themselves near the bottom of the map. Dino Riders, in the meanwhile, sitting on the Abyssal Dragon, is already at about 50% HP. This could be an opportunity for One Trick to go in. They don't have any level 4s quite available on either side. Just as I say that, however, Yikes does have his ultimate. He decides to go in onto the backside.
Oh.
Flicker being done out to dodge that out from Dual Spouse. A great dodge, but unfortunately it was right into the enemy team as Hoon is able to pick themselves up. First Blood, Valor and Shozin are going to try to get themselves off to the backside. Zelf is going to do everything to kite. They do have the tower at their disposal. However, Hoon is able to pick himself up up a double kill.
Man.
Is it the passive going to be enough? Always green. It's going to be always gray as the gray screen has appeared for him. Triple kill for Hoon.
Man, Hoon and Medic are doing such a crazy job together. I'm telling you, Hoon, Medic, and COZ, they are in such great synergy together. Look at it, now they're taking his bottom tower. But Medic, again, landed such clutch Sunshine stuns. That's an AoE stun that Medic just lobbed it over, but Hoon is just finishing off and securing these kills, getting the triple kill, and doing such a phenomenal job.
Not only that, but CLZ has been able to do a fantastic job at securing a lot of these spear throws, being able to help themselves with stun. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Dual Spiral is able to pick up that kill onto Hoon. So just as we were talking about him, he finds himself on the gray screen. Medic and Always Green are going to be tuffling on the river side of the map. Medic, fortunately, will be able to get himself out and away. And just like that, One Trick's able to strike themselves back and get on the board.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job. I mean, honestly, Hoon and Medic are just playing out of their minds right now. And it looks like the Sage Golem will be taken by Yikes there. And as a result, and look at that ultimate. Beautiful timing, beautiful positioning of that Shock Orbit. And they're going to get the kill with Slims securing it.
Zelf is going to go down. Another kill going into the pocket of the Dino Riders. 3-1-1. Hoon is already sitting very heavy with gold, 2.1 thousand gold at just under the 4-minute mark. And now with 4 members towards the mid lane, Always Green is the only one left remaining. He's not going to be able to defend this turret the way that he wants to. It looks like Tier 1 is going to go already in the way of Dino Riders.
Yeah, look at this. Oh my god, this rotation is so on point. Again, Medic, Hoon, CLZ, and Yikes as well, but the core is Medic, Hoon, CLZ. They're rotating as a team. They're doing so much damage. And look at that beautiful Alice ultimate there. Zones them out, lands a Sunshine out, and then now they have to back up. It zones them out, and now they go chase Self, which is such a good placement there. Yikes goes in by himself. He's kind of caught out. Let's see what One Trick is going to do to respond.
Bruticus is going to end up going down. That's how they're going to respond. Unfortunately, Hoon picking himself up his 4th kill. Always Green is going to get stunned away, but Dual Spirals and Zelf are going to be with him, allowing just enough as a disengage. You find yourself a little bit of a split push on the side. Vera's going to try to get everything he can, but the Might Golem is going to get taken away by the Dino Riders. You're going to have a thought of a rotation. Yes, it is. Malik is going to go down. Yikes. We'll try to stop him in the way. You've got a little bit of a minions left. Dual Spiral's trying to do his best.
The Fox form was activated to dodge the Flying Spear from Slims. What a play by Dual Spirals. He's playing so well. However, that won't be enough to save their tower, it looks like. They're going to be able to focus it down, but One Trick needs to respond right now.
They're going to have to try to figure something out. Bruticus is going to use that ultimate to lock Hoon down. The ultimate is going to come out by Hoon. A great use of the ultimate, using the tower to help themselves out as well. And so Hoon will find himself in the gray screen. Now, Hoon, despite the power that he has chosen, has now got himself caught out twice, 2 deaths.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is Always Green, the second time he missed the Thane Excalibur ultimate there. That is a huge win condition for Thane. You have to get close enough. You have to use Valiant Charge to get in there, and then you have to use Avalon's Fury to slow everyone, and then you use the ultimate. That is the Thane combo. It's 1, 2, and 3. He's actually using his ultimate too early. The enemy team is not close enough, and he's missing that ultimate, and that thing does so much damage. It has a 40-second cooldown too. A 40-second cooldown. It's a high cooldown, so you have to time it perfectly. It does 500 plus 141 true damage to enemies in the area, plus dealing 15% of your missing health. If Always Green can land this ultimate, it can literally change the team fight in their favor, so that's going to be something I'm looking for.
So not only that, but you've got items that are being completed on Dino Riders as well. You have Orb of the Magi that's completed onto Hoon, as well as the first damage item getting completed there onto Shozen. He's going to be able to get himself that Leviathan. Look at that.
Look
Hoon,
at that.
Another kill. He gives him that onto Zelf this time. And just like that, you have members of One Trick that caught themselves out of position. Lots of high damage for the side of Dino Riders. So it looks like it's going to be a very early Dark Slayer. It's down to about, looking at 25% HP. Vare wants to try to get Owen, but he has a flicker. He doesn't have any sort of punish available. CLZ's able to get that out. Valor. Oh no, that's not where you want to be. Luckily, he gets himself a nice dodge over the wall, so he will come out alive. But that is going to be a pre-7-minute Dark Slayer in the hands of Dino Riders.
Yeah, I love what Medic did there. You notice when they killed Zelf, Medic immediately drops Hissy Fit, so Thane can't charge out. It's a 1-second silence, and he drops a Sunshine right in the predicted spot where he thinks that Thane is going to want to run away, and boom, Thane gets locked down and deleted. Honestly, this Alice is playing on point. 7 assists in the entire game, landing every single ability, every single skill shot. This is why Alice is such a high priority pick now. We can see her power in the hands of really good players that can land these mechanical skill shots, which makes her so dangerous.
Meanwhile, you've got Yikes and Chosen having a party in the bot lane. Bruticus is going to end up going down. He will not be the gladiator in the arena today, as he will find himself on the gray screen. That's going to be his second death of the day. You've got splits across the board for Dino Riders pushing every single wave, and at just under 7 minutes and 45 seconds, they have found themselves in a 5,500 gold lead.
Yeah, that is massive, but this is their chance to turn around. It's a 4v2. They got to go in all the way and try to get these kills here. However, too late. Medic comes just in time, gets the heal, gets the ultimate down, and look at that. They have to back off, and they don't get any kills. That was their chance right there.
There's nothing that they can do when you have the power of the onslaught that the Dino Riders are bringing to the table. They're going to have a little bit of damage taken from that tower. Chosen, unfortunately, is going to go down. That's going to force a little bit of a retreat out of the Dino Riders. Yikes is going to get pulled in by Bruticus. Another tower shot is going to end up allowing Zelf to finally pick up that kill. So Dino Riders are going to have to be forced to disengage. However, One Trick still finds themselves in quite the disadvantage.
Medic living up to his name there. He rotated down and saved him just in time. Alice ultimate, the friendship, which is that circle you see, gives a speed buff, gives a shield, saved both of them, and then the plays by Bruticus. He got a beautiful Death's Beck in there, was able to pull back Malik, Yikes, and get the kill on there. So both these teams are playing so well, but right now Dino Riders is just 2 ahead. They're rotating together, but they're making some mistakes. They're kind of out of position, not moving together as a unit. So One Trick, they need to group up together and get a 5v3 and just win the fight right there to be able to get back.
Medic actually stole away the might buff in the bottom side. It was the last little ability to use it, and he's going to walk away safely. He had a little slow bonus as well as that burn damage that he's going to have at his disposal. Hey, just because he's the medic, just because he comes to the rescue, doesn't mean that his attacks don't hurt as well. Chosen, in the meanwhile, is going to solo him out. A Sentinel on the top side of the map, and now Dino Riders slowing their roll just a little bit, reallocating the resources and getting these side waves pushed up.
Yeah, look at the pressure they're putting. They got to split push this wave, though, because if they don't, with Liliana along with Lindis, they can clean this wave really, really quick. So they got to work on split pushing and trying to get this down immediately.
So now, just under 10 minutes of play, Dino Riders finds themselves up 6,000 gold lead, and look at the damage that they have at their disposal at this point in time.
Did you see that multiple person stun? He literally put his ult down and stunned 4 people. That was insane what Alice is doing in these fights.
And so now you're going to see a little bit of a dive. Hoon goes ultimate onto Bruticus. The high ground tower loses in the midway. You're not going to find yourself any sort of minion wave, so they're going to have to be careful. I don't think they want to dive too far deep into the fray. Meanwhile, though, just as I say that, the minions are going to arrive almost on cue. Dual spirals will go down. That's 2 members fallen. Minions in the mid lane. Dino Riders can look to end.
Yeah, they're going to look to end here. Look at Vera. He's a little stuck. Always going to get in there, and he's going to push back. Yikes. And Yikes is out of position here. However, they're going to be able to do more damage and return the counter engage. Return that engage with a counter engage and win this game.
And just like that, it might have been back and forth in game number 1, but game number 2, Dino Riders take decisively. It was the 1-2 punch, Dino Riders securing themselves the Game 2 victory over One Trick, and just like that, secure themselves a spot in the semifinals, but more importantly, have had that much more ability to breathe as they have allocated themselves more points and keeping their top 4 playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, and wow, what a difference there. 3 new members, right? Medic, COZ, and Hoon there doing such work. Their 3-man rotations were just so scary to watch. They would always get something, a kill, an objective, and the way that they're landing their abilities. Look at Medic, again, the MVP. MVP twice for these games. He literally saved people's lives and lived up to his name as the Medic.
The Medic indeed, 1-0-10 as you mentioned, will walk away 84.6 kill participation. That was 11 out of 13. He had 90% in game number 1, averaging himself out at about 86% kill participation in this series.
Yeah, impressive.
Everywhere that Dino Riders went, Alice was like, hey guys, hey, can I come along? She literally was the little schoolgirl that was like, hey, I want to follow, the little sister, the little sibling that wants to join the party at all times. But she was there and she did her team proud.
Yeah, and she landed all of his. You notice a difference. You know, Thane, always green, missed some of his ultimates, and Thane's ultimate, the Excalibur, didn't really was a game changer. But Alice's hissy fit was a game changer. Launch the hissy fit and then get these sunshine ultimate, these little lobs that Alice throws. It's an AoE stun. He landed 2 to 3 to 4 people stuns and really made. I mean, out of the 3, Hoon, Medic, and COZ, they all played all their minds. But honestly, I have to give it to Alice. The way Medic played Alice was phenomenal and game-changing for both those games.
She has indeed, but you have to continue to give credit to the carry of the mid laner. We're going to have one replay for you. Another Hoon performance that shows, by and large, the power that he has with his team.
Yeah, and look what he does here. Look at the Abyssal Giant. They're low. Look at the posturing, the positioning. Look at the stun onto Always Green. You see that? And now look at how they're doing. Hoon. Watch him go. He is safe. He's not getting any damage. Malik lands and Duo's Power dodges it. Hoons then gets up his Thunderclap. He then was able to get the kill on Duo Spirals and then get look at the follow-up there by Hoon. Look how aggressive he's positioning and posturing. He's just going into the team. This is a 5v3 at this point. Sojin missed the Malice, but Hoon again positioning perfectly, waiting for his team to get him low, then goes in and secures even more kills underneath the tower. Boom, double kill, and then now a 3rd kill onto Zelf there. Beautiful Iron Blast coming off from Hoon. And then finally, they're going to get another kill on Always Green.
So just like that, Hoon, of course, being there for his team, being able to carry all across the board. But despite the replay, despite the 2 replays in those last games, it's the unsung hero. It's not always the one making the flashy plays that secures the MVP. Suijay has talked about it for both series, and it's going to go into the hands of none other than the support player Medic, formerly known as Chicken, the newest addition to the Dino Riders roster, but more importantly, the staple point in this series.
Yeah, Chicken was well known as a Vainglory Pro, actually, from Vainglory Pro. He was one of the most mechanically gifted support players in Vainglory, landing all of his abilities, and I see no difference with how he played Alice today. So really good job and impressive to get MVP of support twice.
Yeah.
When Hoon is getting all these crazy kills, shows that the assist is massive. It's a weighted formula that gives the assist so much value.
Hey, it doesn't matter who gets the kills as long as the team walks away with the W.
That's correct.
But just like that, Dino Riders secure themselves a 2-0 victory and a spot in the semifinals. Their opponent, who is it going to be? Immortals versus Ferrix, is up next. Any preliminary thoughts before we head to the break?
Yeah, Immortals has built a new roster like Dino Riders. Instead of changing 3 people, they added 2 people to the roster, which is Neo and Dave. Dave returning to Immortals in the mid lane this time. So I'm excited to see how that's going to play out. And then Ferrix has an uphill battle. I mean, Immortals, even though they did have a losing streak in the past 3 weeks and fell in the semifinals, they are still a team to watch out and take seriously.
Well, we've been talking about free stuff all day. We did it at the beginning of the show. We've talked about it throughout the rest of it. And now, how about some more opportunities? E3 is right around the corner. And if you think about attending E3, make sure you head on over to facebook.com/Arena of Valor to vote on what Arena of Valor is going to give away for their E3 swag. I know that that's something that we're all excited for. I will be watching those results clearly because I will definitely be wanting to find a way to get fun things at Arena of Valor.
I've been to E3 the past 2 years, and it's been a blast.
It is a blast indeed. But what else is a blast? The final quarterfinal that we're going to have after this break. Immortals is going to be taking on Team Ferrix. But before we get to that, we have one more video to show you. It is going to be one of our other Caster School contestants, Douglas Gio.
Hey guys, so Douglas here, also known as Douglas Gio. I don't even know how to start this video. I'm a YouTuber from Brazil. I've been into esports for around 3 years. I'm a huge fan of esports. I do a lot of casting on my channel and also in stage events. In Portuguese, I've done CSGO, League of Legends, but never Arena of Valor officially in stage. And this might be the first opportunity, if you guys like this, obviously, that I will have to be one of the official ESL hosting, casting, stage person in the Valor Series and possibly in the World Championships. So make sure if there's a vote going on that you vote for me. But I'm also the CEO and founder of Geo Esports, one of the highest ranking teams in Latin America. Unfortunately, we do not have the Valor Series here in Latin America yet, but soon we hope it will come. And also, I hope to gather a lot of experience from the official casters in the casting school, because I think those are the guys that you look up to, you know? Those are the people that you want to learn from, and those are the people you want to get the experience to bring out the best of you. So you guys can be sure all of that experience will come into the Latin American server as well, but my main goal is to be all over the world casting esports event for you guys. So Arena of Valor is a big passion I have. I'm also a player, not only a caster, not only a YouTuber. You guys can check it out, Douglas Gio. Make sure you do. You can follow me on Twitter. You guys can see everything that's going on. And this casting school is one of the biggest opportunities I'm having to show my talents in English as well. So I can tell you guys, I know a lot about the game, but I'm gonna study a lot more to make sure that you guys get the best experience possible when I'm casting on ESL Valor Series. So make sure you check that out and don't miss a single video that will be coming out about the casting school. Once again, I thank you guys, and I'll see you on stage in Arena of Valor.
Death reigns eternal. Welcome to the Hero Spotlight for Omen. With his ability to trap heroes and force them to fight him, Omen is the nightmare of squishy heroes who need to move around to be effective. If you encounter him alone, better run. Passive Thirst. Every time Omen hits an enemy with a normal attack, he gains 1 point of Thirst. Upon reaching 5 points of Thirst, Omen increases his movement speed and attack speed for 5 seconds. His strengthened normal attack will also deal true damage and reduce the cooldown for Death's Beckon and Untouchable by 1 second. Omen's third normal attack triggers an additional attack that deals 50% damage. The counter is reset after reaching 5 points of Thirst and after coming out of Thirst. Omen can build up stacks of Thirst on jungle creeps or minions, only getting the 5th stack to trigger Thirst to gank an enemy or use in a team fight. Ability 1, Death's Beckon. Omen uses his blade to pull all enemies caught closer to him, dealing physical damage and slowing their movement speed. Since Death's Beckon is mainly used to interrupt and catch heroes, not as a main damage-dealing tool, so do not focus on leveling this first. Ability 2, Untouchable. Omen enters a stage of heightened awareness and gains damage reduction and movement speed for 2 seconds. In this state, Omen can reflect normal attacks, dealing physical damage to the attacker and descending their movement speed. Damage dealt from the reflect also adds any bonus normal attack effects from Omen's equipped items or buffs. Each attacker can only have their attacks reflected once. Untouchable is Omen's core ability. Make sure you level this up. During the laning phase, Omen can use this to both reduce overall damage on him while increasing his own damage output through damage reflection, thus giving him higher survivability. Ultimate Death's Embrace. Omen rushes forward and deals physical damage to the first enemy hero he runs into. He then summons a plasma sword that curses the target for 5 seconds. While cursed, the target deals less damage with attacks and cannot leave the sword's area. As Omen's strongest control ability, enemies can't use abilities or talents to escape. However, due to its short range, it's easy to avoid. Use this while in the brush to catch a jungler or random assassin off guard. Death's Embrace can also be used to escape the embrace of death. If you're about to die, use it on an enemy and simply leave. You can leave, but the enemy is stuck. Here are a few tips you need to know when using Omen. 1. Pay attention, noobs. Though Omen's ultimate has him charge forward a good distance, it doesn't get him over obstacles. 2. How to get that glass cannon from afar? No worries. Omen's ultimate plus flicker can catch them off guard. 3. Before reaching level 4, Omen needs to be safe near the tower and soak up minion EXP and gold. Upon reaching level 4, however, his ultimate will allow him to catch enemies to help with team ganks. 4. His ultimate is Control, so once you get the enemy with it, use ability 2 and normal attacks to get in more damage. When the effect fades, use ability 1 to catch the enemy for more damage. Combo as follows: Ultimate into ability 2, then ability 1. 5. Omen doesn't have any particularly strong abilities for team fights, but it doesn't matter. Open with his ultimate and catch their squishiest target. If you don't get the hit off, then try to cut off any escape points. Thanks for watching the Hero Spotlight for Omen, the Insatiable. See you next time.
The punches haven't been pulled, and North America knows that Flash is around the corner because North America has been lightning fast thus far. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Valor Series presented by AT&T. My name is Jump. Joined with me, I've got Sui J. Now, sir, we have quite the interesting setup here for our last one. Ferrex, a team that we have seen in the Valor Series before, taking on Immortals.
Yeah, they're coming back, and who knows how good they... And to face Immortals, that means they're #1 in the open qualifiers on Tuesday. And this is a team that I saw had a lot of potential. They were engaging, and Razer is one person on their team that I'm watching because he was their jungler. So I'm interested to see how well they're going to fare against the Immortals here.
Now, the important thing to note as we break down the Immortals roster is a couple newcomers. Immortals haven't been finding themselves quite immortal over the last couple weeks. Bobo, X-Tiers, KZ Fox, Neo, and Dave is going to round out that roster. We had 80s Hero that got dropped. Dave and Neo have found themselves onto the roster now. What changes here for the side of Immortals?
Yeah, the key is that mid-map position. We're going to watch how Dave and Neo is going to be playing. We saw how well they did on Dark Power, and this may help Immortals give them that extra oomph to be able to compete against the dominant Allegiance, because no team was able to give Allegiance any hard time. And I think this will help improve the team dynamic with Immortals. But this is kind of their first time playing together in the Valor Series, so they might be a little rusty. We'll see how this turns out, though.
Now, it's also interesting to note that Kevin KZ Fox is the captain of Immortals now. 80s Hero being the previous captain. That is a lot of extra weight on the shoulders of their jungler.
Yeah, it is extra weight. KZ Fox, though, is very calm. He's a very thoughtful person. He definitely is kind of the person that doesn't speak as much, but listens a lot. So I feel like the level of maturity that he brings to the team, the ability to ask questions, the right questions, really helps his team stay focused, and he plays aggressive. This guy, when he commits, he just goes in. So I'm excited to see how that's going to translate for the team.
Well, they're going to be going up against Team Ferrex, a team that we have seen in the Valor Series before, but have not found the utmost level of success that we have wanted. PYG, Raze, Death Touch, Numbers, and Shamu.
Yeah, I love PYG. He's actually a streamer, very friendly guy, met him in person. Razer is the key, though. I remember in one game, Ferrex, he ran away from the fight. His team engaged, and he was on Finnick, and he just walks around and is observing the fight and not going in. So I think the key for this team is they need to be all on the same page. It's as if one person is playing 5 people. That's how they need to play to beat Immortals, because it's not going to be easy beating a team as stacked as Immortals.
Now, Team Ferrex is sitting at 9th. If you take a look at the overall point standing, 65 points. They are 10 points away from breaking into the top 8. And so while securing the top 4 is essentially slim to none as far as percentage and computations go, if they can secure themselves some wins, potentially against Immortals here, they'll find themselves in the top 8 and have that opportunity to get themselves some cash.
Yeah, if they lose to Immortals, they have to still play the relegation match. And if they win the relegation match, that's going to put them at 5th and 6th seed. So that's their goal if they can't play against Immortals and do well. But this is their chance, though. They have to pull out all their trump cards. This is week 5. It's an extremely critical week for all teams, and that's why I'm going to see Immortals play extremely well. I'm going to see Ferox play extremely well. They're going to put everything on the line here.
Well, now, Suijay, you are currently 7 for 7.
That's correct.
One more. Actually, no, 6 for 6. One was a forfeit. That doesn't count. 6 for 6. Who's it going to be? Immortals?
It's going to be Immortals.
It is going to be Immortals, he says. Well, Twitch chat, what are you thinking? What is on your mind? Is it going to be Immortals, or is Team Ferox going to decide to create an upset? We have not seen yet an upset, I believe, from the 7th or 8th seed throughout the entirety of both Europe and North America. So now would be the time if there was one. Immortals on the blue, as they are the higher seed. Ferox will be taking up the red, and it looks like a Ryoma that's going to be immediate banned away by Immortals.
Yeah, Ryoma being taken off is very interesting. Maybe one of the players on Ferox plays it really well. But you can see Ferox there has a streamer pick plays. They have Chamu YouTube. He's an awesome YouTuber. Check out his channel. And of course, Razer. That's the guy I'm looking for here. They're actually going to ban Murad away. Wow. Are they afraid of Murad, or they don't know how to play against him? Because in order for you to beat Murad, you have to understand his win condition. You have to be coordinated. You have to, win the jungle and deny his passive from stacking and unlocking his rift for him to use his Temporal Turbulence ultimate. So that's interesting ban so far. They definitely need to ban Liliana, and they need to ban Superman, because if they give Superman over the side of Immortals, that's going to be a tough cookie to face.
I don't think that's something they want. Now, Dave, despite his performance on Dark Power last week, was a clear addition to come back to the Immortals roster, but Neo, one that people weren't necessarily expecting as much to be brought onto the starting lineup, what is he bringing to this Immortals roster?
Yeah, Neo is actually the shot caller. He actually has played a lot of other MOBAs. He's played the Chinese version of the game, and I think he played League of Legends too at a high skill level. They're actually give Teamy here. They're not going to take Teamy, and they're going to take Tulin over Teamy and Malik and Zenio. This is a surprising pick here by the side of the Immortals. They're going to give the other side Teamy and Zenio. That's a pretty scary draft from Ferox there. Looking good so far.
Already securing themselves some power picks will provide, hopefully, the boost that Ferox need to potentially throw Immortals off the test. Now, not only have Immortals found themselves in some uncomfortable situations, not being able to secure a win in the finals in the last 3 weeks, making roster changes creates an opportunity for teams to capitalize, because they're still establishing synergy. They're still making sure that the roster can move in and of itself. But you talked about the power picks from Ferox. Tulin, now followed up by Malik and Max here for Immortals.
Yeah, that is a nice pick up there. Max is really strong. And then Kilgroth being picked up potentially here. That is a hero we saw banned in EU very often, but instead they're gonna go with the Zil and then the Zephyrs, and then now Kali. That's an exciting hero. I'm so excited to watch, and I think it's gonna Raz. Wait, what? They're gonna go ahead and play Raz and Butterfly. Wow, or Wisp. You're gonna switch up based on Wisp, and it's gonna be a dual mage with a Wisp jungle, or potentially Butterfly here.
Yep.
We'll see.
Doesn't matter. Your predictions, doesn't matter what you say. It's not until the lock-in that actually matters. It is going to be a Wisp locked in for, I believe, KZ Fox now. So we might getting ourselves, is that going to be Bobo on a roaming Raz? Or
yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a support Raz or support Malik. Yeah, it's going to be support Raz. Wow.
Interesting.
I mean, they did change his kit. His first hit is a knock-up. So actually, support Raz is viable if it can be executed properly. And Neo taking a huge risk.
The difficulty, however, is the squishiness that Raz is,
Yeah.
especially in the earlier stages of the game. We saw a couple members of Immortals having some difficulties, beginnings, not being able to have that, I guess, a little overzealous behavior, stepping into the enemy jungle, not being exactly where he's supposed to be. Raz is going to have to be careful, because if not, he will get himself caught out. And despite the fact that he has the utility available, if he doesn't have damage and he falls behind, Immortals could be in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. That's the weakness of playing a carry as a support. They're not that strong in the early game. They need to get items to apply their CCs that they're known for, because Raz late game, he has 2 seconds or faster power surges, which is that fireball he launches out, and it slows you for a significant amount. It's very irritating to play against. So if they can get him to mid game, I think this could work out. But Teamy Zenio, Ferox's draft looks super strong.
They do indeed. Ferox is going to have to do everything they can to potentially figure something out. But as we get loaded in, Immortals is up a whopping 89%
Wow.
to Team Ferox's 11. So there are some believers but not very many, as Team Ferox finds themselves in 2 levels of underdog status. But quarterfinal number 4, it's the last series of the day for the Valor Series. Immortals taking on Ferox.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup. I can't wait to see this this teaming go off. I really like the draft of Ferox here. However, Immortals, the confident team that they are, they're going to go ahead and go for the invade.
And so now we've expected Immortals to have some sort of a different agenda with 2 new members coming into their roster, Dave and Neo, members that we have to make sure we look out for, as well as the shot calling with the new captain of KZ Fox. However, with the words of Neo, it could be a new opportunity. And just like that, Numbers is able to actually take down KZ Fox very early. And so pre-1 minute, you're already finding yourself in a little bit of an advantage if you're Ferox.
Yeah, look at the aggressive. They're still playing, even though they gave her first blood, they are still playing super aggressive here. They're going to try to potentially get the blue buff, but they're not. They're still invading when they lost first blood. And look at Dave here playing so aggressive against pig plays in the jungle here.
And so now, 1 minute into the game, you're already finding an extra level of aggression. Xtears is going to try to get a little bit of damage there in the mid lane onto Razer. But this Kali pick, now, we've talked about Kali a lot of times. We are expecting her to actually be at near the top of the tier list. Unfortunately, however, she has not found herself in that state since the patch dropped. But with the front line that you have available, you've got Zuka as well as Zenio and the Teamy. If Ferox is able to play these team fights correctly, Razer and this Kali could rain havoc.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. They have Kali's. You can see there the circle. That does so much damage, and you combine it with Zephy's Death from Above and Zenio's Malice and Zuka's ultimate as well. The Chariot ultimate there. That's a lot of CC, and then you have, you know, Teamy's, his Pooty Poots. That's also an AoE stun. So there's a lot of CC from the side of Ferox to do some work here.
Meanwhile, we're going to see a double knockup coming out of Neo. Dave, in the meanwhile, is going to go onto the backside of the map. He doesn't want to push himself in too far because he will find himself dead and done to rights. PYG actually able to pick himself up that kill. So 1 into the hands of the Zephyrs. Now, Ultimate is going to get popped by KZ Fox. He's going to have to run away immediately. If not, he's going to get bonked by Numbers and that Zuka stick. As they're going to have to be forced themselves to disengage. They will not go for the Spirit Sentinel because it looks like Abyssal Dragon on the menu.
Yeah, now Ferox is going to take it. And this is not looking good for the side of Immortals here. They're going to try to contest it. And look at that stun from Wisp. Very beautiful play by KZ Fox.
Fox is able to pick himself up that kill. Neo goes down to Numbers, however, but 2 other members have fallen in the meanwhile. Chamu and Numbers did end up falling. Bobo being able to pick up the kill. Rather's going to fall in the meanwhile. Death Torch is the only one left alive. He's going to have to be forced to disengage. Does not have Punish available either. So that's going to be a double kill coming out for Xtears, but more importantly, the Abyssal Dragon.
Man, that was crazy coming from KZ Fox. He landed that barrel bomb so well placed against the wall, stunning him and getting that kill. And look at Pig's play. He's going to try to go in there, but the entire Immortals team rotates, and there looks like they're going to be able to kill him and take him out. What a nice counter rotation.
Yes, great rotation there coming out of Immortals, not only securing themselves some objectives, but posturing appropriately to pick themselves up a little bit of an extra kill. Now, despite the fact that we see Neo sitting on this Raz, he has not yet hit 1,000 gold, is sitting at 0, 1, and 1. Now that he's got his ultimate available and we know that he's roaming in that support position, where do you expect Neo to go?
Yeah, Neo is going to continue to CC and help it, but Dave is kind of caught up. He's by himself there. This is really dangerous for him, so he's got to be careful. Luca is so good, and he misses his ultimate, but Wisp lands the Death from Above there. That Shock and Awe is able to land and get that kill. Very beautiful play, and Neo is going to be caught out here. It looks like he's going to drop to Death's Touch.
Death's Touch going to go down. Neo will find himself in the gray screen, but in the meanwhile, Chamu will go down as well to Xtears. Xtears now securing himself a 3rd kill. He's going to try to dive onto the backside, but he doesn't want to do it as PYG and Death Source are crazy. Nice little stutter step there. It's got the moves as PYG's not able to get the knockout. Dave is able to pick up that kill. Solid mechanical play there by Xtears.
Yeah, that was insane the way they were playing there. The way they were juking the abilities from the side of Ferox there. Panda misses ultimate. Zephy's misses his Death from Above ultimate. These side movements and jukes are paying off really well for Immortals right now.
Xtears is going to find himself a little bit over-aggressive, pushes up. Not too sure he wanted to be in that situation. Zuka, Numbers, being able to secure himself that kill. 3 kills into the hands of that very nimble Panda, and he's going to have to be forced to go away. All the mobility as Dave and Neo. Now, because Dave and Neo have the experience as a roster together, these roams with the mid and support are something that we need to look out for because they have that pre-established synergy. Bad things can happen, however, in favor of Immortals.
Yeah, and And the key is Ferox being able to get back in here. They got to do it uneven. Look at it. He dodges the Malice there. Bobo then ults really next to him. He's going to stay in the fight here. Wow. Even 2v1, he's playing aggressive and not scared of the side of Ferox here. And look at this 4-man rotation coming down here. Razer is on mid now instead of jungle. And look, Eternal Blame gets dropped. The ultimate comes out. Grievous comes out, and he just flickers right out.
PYG is going to try to get everything he can to get back into this fight. Neo, in the meanwhile, is going to knock 2 members back. KZ Fox is going to join the fight. He's going to try to get himself a little bit of a kite, but he's going to have to be careful because there's a very scary Panda on his front. But in the meanwhile, I say that, and it's crit after crit. It's damage after damage. X-Tiers is going to join the fight as well. It doesn't look like Razer's going to survive, and so before the 6-minute mark, it's Immortals with a clean ace.
Yeah, that was such a good play, such a good engage. Bobo knew that his team was rotating to follow him. Max comes in time to save and secure that ace. But what Ferox needs to do is they got to combo their abilities. Panda has Skyfall. It's an ultimate. He jumps from the sky and able to stun an area of effect. Zephyrs has Death from Above, another stun from area that has area effect. You have Teamy that has Pooty Boots, another AoE stun. And you have Kali who does a lot of damage on the Internal Blame. That circle she drops there. So they got to combo these abilities to be able to come back in his game here and try to fight against Immortals.
And so now you can see Immortals finally starting to pull themselves off into the Immortals that we saw in week number 1. So far, the addition of Dave and Neo have worked out well. However, you still have the question mark that's standing above the head of Neo because Raz, while he has 6 assists out of the 14 kills that Immortals have acquired, is sitting at 3 deaths. So he needs to be careful because catching himself out of position could spell disaster for the Immortals.
Yeah, he's not even playing tank. And look at that. Wow. Zephyrs misses his Death from Above. And oh my goodness, that damage coming out. And X-Tiers coming in just in time using lift off Mac Lazarus. And they're going to go ahead and jump on Chamu. And then Death Tuck looks like he's going to be caught out. And they may get a kill with the ultimate coming from Tulin. He's going to secure it.
Going to pick up that kill. Legendary goes Dave, as we saw him perform in week number 4 on Dark Power. And now that he is back acclimated into the Immortals roster, he is sitting very comfy in the lead. 4-1-5 is the stat line for him, as Immortals are now pushing themselves into the mid lane. They have 2 more auto attacks before they take that tier 2 tower, and then it is a simple rotation up to the top to start whittling down the top side.
Yeah, look at the damage coming off from Wisp. A Soul Reaver, Clank Sancti, War Boot, and 3 swords give Wisp so much burst, 1,500 plus crit. They have to be careful because Wisp is an AoE crit machine. If they are together and Wisp gets maximum value from all the AoE damage, that's going to do so much work on the side of Ferox. So they got to be very careful with their positioning and group ups.
They need to make sure they're positioning themselves, but oh, look at this, a little cheeky play here coming out of the Immortals. They have a lot of damage. If you have it, you might as well use it. Darkslayer goes down at just over the 8-minute mark. Neo might find himself dead and defeated, but X-Tiers in the meanwhile is going to try to dive onto the backside here to try to see if he can pick up a kill on 2 numbers. Numbers will find himself out of the Zenio heal, but it doesn't matter as he's able to dodge and get himself away. KZ Fox in the meanwhile is going to be crit after crit. 892, 2 ticks of the ultimate, and that's going to be over 1,500 damage and almost 1,000 auto attack crit coming out there, and that's going to be a double kill. The Wisp pick for KZ Fox coming out strong.
Yeah, oh my goodness, that ultimate, that shock and awe placement was perfect right behind the tower where they wanted to run away. And look at this sandwich here. Razer is in huge trouble, and another shock and awe drops on top of the tower and deletes Razer from the map. Man, Wisp is so fun to watch and play here on KZ Fox.
There's not much that they're able to do at all. Is Immortals up 10,000 gold at the 9-minute mark. Another tower down. That's going to be 6 here at the 9-minute mark. KZ Fox 8-1-8. Look at the damage of the ultimate alone. Numbers is going to go in the back only to run away. X-Tiers is going to try to chase him on the backside. The rest of Immortals are going to be everywhere across the mark. That's going to be a special delivery. X-Tiers is going to wipe the tears of his enemies down as Zuka falls. High ground turret in the mid lane. The minion wave on the top. Neo's going to use that flicker to try to get in. He will end up taking Death Torch down. Another high ground tower. 2 members are left alive, but with the minion, this might be it.
Yeah, such crazy CC and knockback. You can see why Raz is working out. Neo's going right in there, coming from back, pushing back out, knocking him up, and securing these key kills.
Just like that, Immortals walk away with a Game 1 victory. Immortals showing that just because we added 2 players does not mean that we can't still hang with the rest. They walk away with a sub-11-minute victory, and it seemed like Immortals not only came with a different game plan, something that we've criticized them in previous weeks, but more importantly, they came with an execution on that strategy here in Game 1.
Yeah, they definitely tried to play aggressive in the early game, and their comp just wasn't as aggressive, and they actually fell behind in the first minute of that match. So it was very interesting to see how that played out, but the Dragon play was the most important. They turned that around, got the 4 kills, took the first Dragon, and completely flip-flopped the script in their favor.
Not only did they flip the script, but they executed on the script, and it was the newcomers that decided to change things up. Neo playing a support Raz, not something we see very often, and then Dave. Dave. We saw what he was able to do against the Immortals in week number 4, and now Immortals deciding probably should bring this guy back aboard. They have done just that. He performed amicably and have put the members of Team Ferrex in an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, the way he was playing Tulin, he dodged Zephy's death from above. Dave can play every hero pretty well. He's been known as a very mechanically gifted player and understands his matchups really, really well. And also the limits of his hero. So he goes in and knows when to kite, go position, when to go hard, when not to. And that resulted in a lot of kills. Him and Casey Fox actually have the most kills in that game because of how aggressive and how well they played.
Well, we want to talk about the Immortals doing well, and what better way to do it than to show our one and only replay just over the 5-minute mark. It was a 5-for-1 ace in favor of Immortals.
Yeah, Bobo using the flicker to dodge the grievance from Kali, and now with that all being down, look at Neil. He goes to the back line, he pushes 2 people back. Dave jumps right in there, gets off his passive, and look at the damage coming from Wisp there. They're able to focus down the enemy so quickly, and Numbers runs away. Instead of staying on Wisp and getting the kill, he actually runs away. As Panda, you want to stay on top of them. And as a result, they lose and get that kill. X-Tier comes in from behind and secures the kill onto Aether.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about KZ Fox and this Wisp. We saw the power, the almost 1,000 HP crits that he was able to pull off.
Yeah.
Was unbelievable. Wisp was a hero that you primarily disregarded when she came out, not saying that she had the strengths that she provided. However, KZ Fox was able to perform, in other words, quite well on it. Was it the Wisp or was it the KZ Fox? Was it a combination of both? What happened?
It was all of it. I mean, KZ Fox played Wisp very, very well. He had perfect placements on that Shock and Awe ultimate, placing it on top of the tower, getting kills with it. He got multiple kills and hitting 3 people or more with that Shock and Awe, which is a game changer. And then the barrel rolls. He actually, in that one Dragon play where they won Dragon Pit, he actually landed a barrel roll and stunned Pig's Play Zephy's there. It was an amazing play. Watch how he comes in here and he lands that key stun onto the Zephy's, and it changed the whole fight. This is a 3v4, brother. Look at that. Perfect timing, gets the stun. Zephy's gets to lead it right off the bat, and now it's a win for Immortals. Even though they don't have the numbers advantage right now, and they win this trade. It was amazing to watch how well he played Wisp.
This was not only a performance by KZ Fox in that Wisp, but more importantly, it was the standout performances from the newcomers. Dave performing on that Tulin. Now, we've talked a little bit about the Wisp. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Neo on this Raz. Is this something that was more of a one-time pocket pick, or could this be a rising trend for Neo and Immortals?
I could see it. It's very risky. It's high risk, high reward, I feel. If Raz can knock people up, right, get onto the backline and use his ultimate, that Fury ultimate, and push everyone back into his allies and get these kills exactly like he did, then I see Raz working. However, he's really squishy. That's the only issue.
Well, game number 2 is about to get underway. The pick ban phase, however, has to come first. Tulin, an immediate knee-jerk reaction ban away by Ferrex. They don't want to put that back into the hands of Dave. Immortals taking their time on these timers. Now, not only do you have the amount of seconds that you need to ban away a hero, but these 20 seconds could give you an opportunity to continue your strategy and further your thinking because you don't have a lot of time to decide.
Yeah, definitely. They need to make sure they deny, I feel like, key mages. Tulin is a good ban. I feel like if they don't want to give a strong mage in the hands of Dave, they need to take it away. Max is a good ban as well because X-Tier is one of his most played heroes, actually, Max. And it's someone that X-Tier plays really proficiently.
So Superman looks like it's going to be taken off away by Immortals. Max as well. Wonder Woman a hero that we have seen banned away quite a few times here in North America. Every team rather, having the opportunity to play Wonder Woman in the side lane. Final ban going to be the Maraud for Ferrex. Now, seeing as what you have, the final ban potentially being something like the Ryoma that we saw, it looks like it's going to be the Liliana. Instead, I was wrong again. Immortals, final ban now. What becomes the priority? Does Ferrex lock in the Ryoma, or do they go for something like a Malik or a Zen?
They should take Teamy. I mean, Teamy is one of the best supports.
We forgot about Teamy!
Yeah, Teamy's open. So they're actually picked a Malik instead, which then could give Teamy over to the side of Immortals, along with Ryoma, something really strong. And they're going to go ahead and pick Joker instead up here. First picking the Joker. Interesting. Let's see if they're going to lock down this Teamy or they're going to give it over. Because they give Teamy over to Malik, that's a dangerous combo. That's 2 AoE stuns, a revive, true damage. A lot going on there when they have Teamy and Malik. Boom. Wow,
Boom.
that's a strong draft from Ferrex there.
If there was anything that Immortals have shown that they continue to do, it is create an obstacle to climb before the game even starts. Their pick ban phases have kind of wavered in a lot of instances. Arduin being a potential lock-in, and the Kilgroth. Nope, correction. Is that a Scud?
Oh, wow. Scud is going to be played here. Arjun, we've seen Neo play really well, actually. We also saw AOG play. Rest play Arjun really well. He's actually a hero that spikes really hard in the mid phase of the game. He's okay late game, and he's okay early game, but his most powerful power spike is when he turns level 4. He has that ultimate call that allows him to stun. He has on a fast cooldown, 16 seconds, and then 14 seconds once it's max. And is this going to be a butterfly potentially? Scud is also not a bad hero. He actually does a lot of damage in the side lane because of his passive. Yeah, and it's going to be a butterfly.
A butterfly. We saw them hovering back and forth on if they decided to go for the butterfly or the wisp. Does look like it's going to go into the butterfly. Now, because they were hovering that back and forth, it does beg the question, does that mean that that's a butterfly into KZ Fox's hands, or do they decide to put the Kilgroth potentially there?
I think...
Or no, it wasn't Kilgroth, it was Scud. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Scud. Scud is going to be side lane.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, Butterfly's definitely
that's
jungle. It's probably a tank Butterfly, and the reason that Butterfly is dangerous, because if she gets a late game, you've seen it in Gold and Platinum, she carries really hard, because every time she gets a kill, all of her abilities get reset off cooldown, and then she just goes in for another kill, and if you don't kill her fast enough, she's gonna do work, because her ultimate backstab puts her behind the enemy hero with the lowest HP. She literally backstabs that hero and is able to get in your backline and kill you.
And so now we find ourselves at a crossroad. Immortals is up 1-0. Ferrex, despite coming out with a very strong draft, Immortals finding themselves in, I don't want to say niche picks. I don't want to say pocket picks. I just want to say unconventional, because it's not a composition at all that we're used to seeing. It's something we're going to have to consider. What do you think? Take it to Twitter. Use the hashtag Valor Series. Let us know your predictions of this game, what you think, and give us your final thoughts on his mustache. This is the last and only offer. Will it stay? Let us know if you want it to stay, because as of right now, it might potentially fade into the distance before Saturday. But game number 2 of our last quarterfinal has begun. This is the Valor Series in North America. Immortals is up 1-0 over Ferrex.
Yeah, I do want to talk about Scud. Scud I really like. He actually was played in Southeast Asia when he came out, because he's really good side laner, actually, because his passive Anabolic Rage actually gives him a lot of damage, 20% additional damage, which makes him pretty decent in the early game. He also restores 80 HP and mana as well, so each normal attack he does reduces the cooldown of his Anabolic Rage by 1 second, and it procs every 10 seconds. So Scud is actually pretty strong in the early game. You want to invade with Scud, but Immortals is going to decide not to invade with Scud. Neo's going to play around with the team, and the knockup from Lubu here. Xer's coming in there, getting on Death's Touch. This could be a kill potentially, but I think he'll be saved by his tower.
Tower's going to save him, but that doesn't mean that Neo and Xtiers aren't going to have the opportunity to proxy the wave. Now 3 members are on the bottom side of the map, Shamu and PYG. You're going to find yourself in a rough spot. I don't know what Neo was thinking on there. Sure, you can proxy the wave, but you knew there was going to be a rotation. Joker's not able to come around. Dave is not in a position to roam by any means of the game, as he is sitting at level 2. Bought himself some upgraded boots, added mobility, trying to dodge out some of those skill shots, and so now Bobo and Numbers are going to find themselves in the bottom. KZ Fox as well. Chamu's going to be there. This is going to be a great little counter gank opportunity. KZ Fox is going to be a rough stop, but Bobo goes down before they even get an opportunity. KZ Fox is going to have A little bit of a hate
He's
in here.
level 4. He's doing his ultimate backstab. There we go.
There's
He
the
kills.
ultimate that we were looking for. He's got himself the reset. Is it going to be enough? It is double kill coming out for KZ Fox.
Yeah, that's the power butterfly right there. And Dave is playing Joker, and look at the burst damage. Wow, he gets the kill right underneath tower. This is amazing to watch, and I wonder who is their mage. They have no mage on the team. Looks like it's all going to be weapon power damage or a physical damage, which is going to be very interesting because they can get hard countered by defense here.
You do, and you have 3 tanks with Teamy as well as Zenial and Malik on the side, so they can just spell straight armor, not have anything to worry about. So prioritization becomes a breeze for Feryx. It's just find the defensive items that have armor and then go, okay, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. But in the meanwhile, the question becomes, are they going to have time? Because an Abyssal Dragon goes into the hands of Immortals. Dave is level 4, so he's going to have that ultimate there. And look at the damage. That's going to be a 50 or 100 to 50 immediate for KZ Fox before he has even completed a set of items.
KZ Fox is going to win just because of his skin there. I love the butterfly hoverboard. Look at that's touch there. He's getting so low. He needs to back off. He barely survives. Sliver of health. Razer is able to get that blue golem, and that's going to be a decent trade there for Ferox there. Barely surviving that fight.
So now Immortals getting the counter jungling done in their favor. Bobo doing a good job at bullying numbers in the bottom lane. So a solid effort by him. We haven't seen the Scud providing much of really any sort of presence here in the Valor Series, but Immortals, confident after that Game 1 victory, have decided to bring it out here in Game number 2. Mike Golem has spawned for Feryx's blue side, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be the ones to do it. And look at that, Dave, sitting at level 5, already dropping this Kali down extremely low. Neo, in the meanwhile, on a little bit more of a conventional support. Anduin not being the one that we've seen too much, but it looks like numbers.
Look at this.
Oh, you've got the iframes coming out of Malik. He's going to try to get just enough of a shield. It will be enough for Boba, but here comes Dave, the snipe. Oh, it's not going to be enough, but he does have the ultimate. It's just going to be a simple boop, boop, auto attack. That's going to be the canister, and it will be the Joker to pick up the kill.
Yeah, you got to watch Scud here on Bobo and Scud. He does something called Fear Charge. He charges in with a punch, and then he basically knocks you up, and then he can use his ultimate, which is called Wild Beast Fur. He kind of spins around, and anyone he hits, he knocks away from his spin. So he can go behind the back line and knock the enemy towards the ally. But look at the stuns and the combo coming from Dave here. Chamu barely survives, but then the thing about Scud that makes so good is he's such a high damage burst type of hero. He goes in, goes out, and when he uses Wild Burst Fury, it resets his Fury Charge to then be able to use again to escape or continue to engage.
Meanwhile, PYG is going to go down. Oh, he's been left alive just a little bit by Death's touch, but Death will find him in the meanwhile. Ultimate goes Dave, as now you're seeing Immortals continue to steamroll from what they had in the last game. KZ Fox is going to get a nice little blink over the wall to help himself out, and so now Feryx finds themselves in an even rougher spot than they found in game number 1. Bobo's going to try to get a little bit of damage. You've got the AoE coming out of numbers just to try to make sure that he can defend himself on this wave, because when the towers start to go down, that is when Immortals is going to continue to push into victory.
Yeah, and KZ Fox is building a more tanky butterfly there, getting, instead of, Soul Reaver damage jungle item, he's going to get the Leviathan, which gives him more health every time he stacks and kills more monsters. So that's a really good butterfly build, and if he gets to the late game, he's going to be very, very dangerous. He'll be able to solo kill the entire team if he plays her perk and abilities correctly.
So now Bobo finds himself barely left alive. You see Death's Touch again going down. Bobo's going to have to be forced to walk away. Neo, in the meanwhile, is going on the back line. Ultimate is going to come out. No, I stand corrected. That's actually going to be death timers. They're going to be done in the meanwhile. Teamy will try to keep him alive, but Chamu will still end up falling in the mean. And this is where things start to get scary. PYG is able to pick up that kill. Neo is being forced to walk away. You've got Dave coming in on the Vispa. Uh-oh. Here comes KZ Fox. He's got 3 juicy options as a potential for him. You've got the ultimate coming down. Onslaught goes KZ Fox. That's going to be a reset. That's going to be a reset. That's going to be a reset. Triple kill for the Butterfly.
That was insane amount of damage Butterfly is doing. And that's the risk. If you don't kill Butterfly, she comes in like that, and everyone is low, she's just going to use her abilities. She's going to Whirlwind, she's going to Sword Propel, she's going to cast Backstab, get a kill, recast Backstab, recast Whirlwind, recast Sword Propel, and so much damage just coming out from her. And that ability damage is going to do so much work, because none of them are building any type of ability defense except for Gilded Greaves, because most of the team is attack damage right now. So it's very interesting composition here coming from Immortals, but it's working out for them so far.
Suijay, 7-0-3 KZ Fox is sitting comfortably on this butterfly. Something that you have to worry about. X-Tiers is going to be able to pick up the kill. He's going to pop ultimate, try to get a little bit of lifesteal. Look at that. That's 3 times at less than 10 HP. Numbers is going to be alive, but IMT X-Tiers will be alive in the same. Neo and Numbers are going to go right off the mark, trying to get themselves in a little bit of a better position. There's the knock up there from Neo. The ultimate, as well as the heal, is going to come out of Death Touch. Neo will fall, but at what cost are they losing? Because you have 3 members on the bottom side pushing down the turrets.
Yeah, that was an okay trade. Neo being a little over-aggressive there, giving the kill over there, but it's worth it for a tower. And let's see what they're going to do here. And look at the damage from KZ Fox. Just going in there and just cleaning house. Oh my goodness, this is disastrous. Butterfly going absolutely ham.
Again and again and again, KZ Fox secures himself a second triple kill off of the butterfly resets. 13, 0, and 3. Double digits at 7.5 minutes. A high ground tower to boot. And not only that, but with 4 members in the mid lane, another high ground tower is going to be taken. The minions are coming in. You've got the respawns, but it looks like they might just like to end. KZ Fox will find himself very, very low. He will end up falling. No perfect stat line for you, sir. The members of Immortals are going to have to probably try to go back on this because all 5 members of Ferox are alive. The onslaught continues. Neo's going to have to try to help them. Dave as well as X-Tiers are trying to kite themselves back. X-Tiers actually picks up the kill onto Shamu. Neo is still alive as well as Dave. However, Numbers will pick up the kill onto X-Tiers. Neo will fall, and so that is going to be death timers aplenty, but the core is down to 25% HP.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Look at Bobo. He's still hanging around. This is so risky. I don't know why he's doing that. He could be killed by Pig's Play, but he's level 12, and look at the plays he's making there. He's going to get the kill. Does he have the ultimate? No, he does not. He walks into Kali's Eternal Blame, takes the damage and the slow, and giving the kill over to the side of Ferox here.
So just like that, Ferox find themselves in a much rougher position than they hoped to be in coming into this game number 2. They had the composition, they had the draft, but at the end of the day, a good offense will always beat a good defense, as Butterfly has led the charge. KZ Fox 13, 1, and 3.
Yeah, I just noticed Immortals is heavy on attack damage, but Ferox is heavy on ability damage. It's Zill, it's Kali, and where is their attack damage hero? They don't have one. And that's very interesting to see the matchup, but as a result here, Immortals is 2 ahead in items, 2 ahead in damage, 23 kills to 9. This is really tough for the side of Ferox to come back in here.
So X-Tiers, as well as the rest of Immortals, are going to try to get themselves one last final sweep if they have the opportunity to do so against Ferox. PYG, as well as Chamu and Razer, are going to end up falling down. Death Touch is going to be the next to go to his name set. Numbers is going to find himself low. Look at the damage. It doesn't matter if you're a tank because the absolute onslaught of KZ Fox and the rest of Immortals. The wave is coming down on the bottom side of the web. Chamu is up in 5 seconds, but I do not think it matters. Immortals have come out with 2 unconventional drafts. Confidence has been in plenty, but more importantly, execution has stayed the same. Ace is going to come out. Dave will pick up the final kill, but all in all, Immortals with the victory. I got 3 words for you, Sweet J, and 3 words alone. Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
Dat Butterfly Doe. Unbelievable effort by KZ Fox, but more importantly, it was Immortals as a unit that were able to execute efficiently and secure themselves a Game 2 and, more importantly, a berth in the semifinals.
Yeah, they just out-mechanicked Ferox. Ferox getting better and better, so continue to compete. They missed a few abilities, like Zenio not landing his Malice. You know, these are key abilities they need to combo. Like, they have teaming, they have Zenio. They needed to combo these abilities to be able to win these fights. But as a result, because of the mechanical outplays that Immortals did, they were winning these fights kind of uneven. But really good job on KZ Fox in his Butterfly. That was insane how he just came in and cleaned up all these fights.
Now, Immortals, despite the fact that we had questions raised, adding 2 new members, even though, yes, Dave played on Immortals before, anytime you're adding new members that could mix up their synergy, emotions, players, regardless of what it is, do you feel that this is the winning roster that Immortals was looking for to get themselves back near the top?
Yeah, so far what I've been told is they're very comfortable. They have a lot of good synergy. They all play super aggressive. I think a little too aggressive though, which is their weakness, I feel. But the way that they're playing, the way they're communicating, I think it's going to work out really well for them. So I'm really excited to see how well this roster is going to work together. Like Dino Riders, they have a brand new roster for the most part too. Wonder how these new rosters are going to play out on Saturday.
And so now, just like that, the Immortals have won, but the MVP is going to go to our opening statement, that butterfly dough. It's going to be KZ Fox walking away with the victory. He has been upgraded to the captain, but more importantly, has retained his carry potential. The butterfly, the carries, KZ Fox, one to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, Sword Propel actually increases her attack speed by 50% for 3 seconds. So she's actually really good as a tank, which is how he played it. And when he kills somebody, all his abilities gets reset. Re-backstab. It was great. Whirlwind, Sword Propel. It was awesome to watch. But I think the key was that skin. That hoverboard skin.
Oh, yeah, the hoverboard skin. The hoverboard skin is definitely one you have to do. But alas, our last quarterfinal has ended. Immortals walks away with a very decisive 2-0 victory over Ferrex, placing them against Dino Riders in the semifinals. Earlier today, we had Allegiance secure a 2-0 win, Upslow winning by forfeit over Dark Power. Now, 0-9 Dark Power, One Trick, and Ferrex will find themselves in the relegation bracket. Winners will stay in week number 6. The losers will have to face relegation. Will have to face the open qualifiers. Now, taking a look at what we have for our semifinals, is there anything you're excited to see here in North America?
Yeah, Dino Riders versus Immortals. I mean, they both upped their game, upped their rosters. So which roster is going to be the better roster is the better question. And both these teams have been playing so well, especially Dino Riders. They're moving with a lot of momentum. With the addition of Medic, I'm super excited to see how they're going to do against Immortals.
It's going to be an exciting time across the mark, but again, do you like free stuff? I like free stuff. Sweej likes free stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody likes free stuff. Well, if you're going to E3, you might as well get some free stuff. But what free stuff do you want? Well, you have an opportunity to choose. Head on over to facebook.com/Arena of Valor, where you can have yourself an opportunity to vote on what Arena of Valor and Tencent Games will be giving away at E3 for the regional finals. Not only will you be able to give yourself a new piece of merchandise, but maybe you can get that John Hancock from Sweej as well. Maybe get him a little piece of the a signature. I don't know, but what else do you have to offer? How about maybe checking out our VODs, the highlights, all the exclusive content that you have for Arena of Valor, the Valor Series, specifically youtube.com/Valor Series. It's going to be one heck of a time to get yourself some research, catch up on the games, have all the highlights and action that we have available. Now, with that, unfortunately, as much as you might enjoy our lovely voices, Sweej's beautiful mustache, all is a time to go. So with that, it is going to be the end for us of the Valor Series here in North America. Ladies and gentlemen, the semifinals will take place for Europe and North America on Saturday. Make sure you stick around. We'll see you then.